good evening and welcome to Solent Sports Newsnight. I'm your host, Louis Moore. Coming up, we've got all of tonight's action, including the important Champions League second legs, the Papa John's Trophy semi-final and a feisty affair in the Scottish Premier League. Not to forget the latest news from England's Test match in the West Indies. I'm delighted to be joined in the studio tonight by our panel of experts, Fraser Day, Joe Hayhurst, Jake Clements and Liam Jones. We will also be joined by our reporters live on locations for updates around the grounds on tonight's fixtures. First, we're going to go to Fraser, who will be looking at the PSG versus Real Madrid game. Fraser, what can you tell us?
Well, it's a strong lineup from both sides. Obviously, PSG and Real Madrid, two of the best teams in the world right now. Kylian Mbappe does start. That is the big news coming out of the Bernabeu. Obviously, he picked up an injury in training on Monday when Idrissa Gueye stepped on his foot, but he leads the line tonight along with Neymar and Messi. It's Verratti, Danilo Pereira and Leandro Paredes in midfield with a back line of Mendes, Kimpembe, Marquinhos, Hakimi and Donnarumma returns in goal. So a very strong PSG side. As for Real Madrid, it's a bit of a shaky back line, I won't lie. There's been a few injuries, a few suspensions. So Casemiro is out suspended, as is Ferland Mendy. So it's Courtois in goal with Dani Carvajal, Eder Milito, Nacho, David Alaba playing left back, interestingly. Obviously, we know he can play there, but yeah, he doesn't normally. He tends to play centre back. Toni Kroos is fit after a hamstring injury. He's playing central midfield with Valverde coming in for Casemiro alongside Modric. And then it's a front three of Vinicius Junior, Karim Benzema and Marcos Asensio. So, very strong side.
Perfect. All the recipes for a great game. We can now go live to a couple leagues down, just a little bit out of their comfort zone. We've got Steve Jobs over in Bracknell for Bracknell versus Guernsey.
Hello Louis, you're right, how are you doing? Nice to see you looking all smart there. I've got team news here for Bracknell versus Guernsey. So it's Bracknell first in the Isthmian South Central Division, where they played 28 games and won 25, drawn one and lost only twice all season. They come up against Guernsey FC, who are currently 14th position, having played 6 games less than most of the rest of the league due to COVID reasons, where everyone wasn't allowed in or out of Guernsey. So they started the season late. So they're playing catch up at the moment, but it is 2 of the top 3 in the form table at the moment colliding, and team news has just come in. So it is, I'll read it off the sheet here. They've got the 2 main strikers, Aaron McLeish-White and Seb Bauman for Bracknell. So Seb Bauman's currently the top goal scorer in this division. He scored 24 goals in 28 games. He's an absolute talisman for them. And their new recent signing, Aaron McLeish-White, also starts alongside him. When I first commentated for Guernsey, he was playing for Ashford Town. He's put 2 past Guernsey in that game, so he'll be looking to replicate that as well. So big news for Bracknell for having that. In terms of Guernsey, they've got their all-time top goal scorer, Ross Allen, leading the line, 269 goals in 273 games for Guernsey in his long career. But yeah, putting up Messi numbers in the lower division. So he's a quality player. He's starting alongside Carl Smith and Glenn Letitia up top. But I expect Bracknell to have the majority of this play. Guernsey will, anything from here will be a bonus for them, as they are runaway league leaders at the moment. Bracknell 18 points clear, just 7 points needed to wrap up the title, and 6 will be enough most likely due to having a superior goal difference. They've scored 69 goals and only conceded 10 all season. So a very long evening probably in store for Guernsey, but anything will be a bonus for them.
Thank you very much, Saj. We now go to our second panellist in the Scottish Premier League, where struggling Dundee take on St Mirren, being covered by our Scottish League expert, you can tell by his trousers, Jake Clements. Jake, what can you tell us about today's game?
Well, Dundee sit rock bottom of the Scottish Premiership, only on 23 points. They're 1 point behind St Mirren, who occupied, not St Mirren, sorry, St Johnstone, who occupied the last relegation playoff spot. St Mirren are 9th in the Scottish Premier League, just 3 points behind all 3 teams above them. It goes all the way up to 5th. But they've lost three in a row and are winless under their new manager. But before that, they were unbeaten in 5, which included 4 wins. So it's a bit surprising to see their run of form dip, but I guess they didn't get that new manager bounce. Same more or less with Dundee. They're winless under 4 under new manager Mark McGee. Strangely enough, both Mark McGee Stephen Robertson worked under Mark McGee at Motherwell in 2017. Dundee have only actually won 1 league game all calendar year, and they've conceded 50 league goals in the 29 games they've played. So that's about 1.5 goals per game. So you've got to be scoring 2 goals to win a game. It's a bit difficult to get any wins. On paper though, this is Dundee's easiest game in a month. They've got 2 games against Rangers coming up, 1 in the cup and 1 in the league. So this is what he classes a must-win game for them, being bottom in the league. They've got 2 changes tonight. They can welcome Luke McCowan back to the lineup after he missed last game against Motherwell, which was a 1-1 draw with COVID. But they've still got 4 or 5 players out with COVID, so they're struggling a bit. And McGinn returns to the lineup after missing the last 4 games through injury. St Mirren also have got both their top strikers back, which is a worry for Dundee. Ronan's got 6 goals this season, and so has Brophy. So proper players for that team.
Thank you. Just stand up and show us your trousers, Joe. Look at that.
I mean, they are
proper
class.
Scottish expert he is. Look at them. We can now go to the newsroom live, where Nima is looking at Manchester United's Youth Cup tie against Wolverhampton. The game's already kicked off. Nima, what can you tell us?
Manchester United, 36 minutes played. Charlie McNeil has opened the scoring for the Red Devils after an excellent through ball from Isaac Hansen, and that's about it so far, but definitely Man United have been the better team in the opening half an hour so far.
Thank you, Nima. We have Hartley Paul taking on Rotherham in the Papa John's Trophy semi-final, being covered by our very own Joe Hayhurst. Joe, can you give us a slice of your opinion on that game, please?
Very good, yeah, like that intro. We've got 1st in League 1 versus 12th in League 2 today. Rotherham are 1st in League 1. They're playing brilliantly. Their title rivals, Wigan, actually went out of the trophy to a League 2 side yesterday on penalties. And it's quite an interesting matchup because Hartlepool have got players such as Gray, Bogle, Molyneux. Molyneux is a real player to look out for. He's absolutely astonishing. Big fan of him. I genuinely think that we could be in for a good game today. We've seen lots of upsets so far, and Hartlepool have actually had to beat teams like Bolton and Wigan on the way through. So, I'm quite excited for this. New manager as well, Anthony Sweeney's just signed a long-term deal with the club. I'm excited to see what Hartlepool do from here.
Thank you, Joe. Our final panellist is Liam, and Liam will be following the Champions League with Manchester City taking on Sporting. Liam, Man City already 5-0 up in that leg, but what can we expect?
Well, like you said, they're 5-0 up. It's a bit of a weird one for me to cover, really, because the stakes are not that high for Manchester City. You'd like to think that the tie is already done. It's the Champions League, anything can happen. We saw a few years ago with Barcelona and Liverpool. Liverpool 4-0 down, they come back to win. And then a couple of years before that, we had PSG and Barcelona, crazy comeback there. Pep Guardiola, naming a bit of a strange side. He's had a bit of trouble at the back. Obviously, Ruben Diaz is still injured. Ake still injured. João Cancelo is now ill. And Kyle Walker is suspended from his game against RB Leipzig a few games back. So he's naming Zinchenko at left back. Unfortunately, Zinchenko still has to play with the defensive troubles, even though, obviously, the Ukraine situation. Laporte, John Stones, and the big story around this game is CJ Egan-Riley. He's 19. It's his first Champions League game. He's slotting in at right back. We're going to see what he does. Maybe he's a good talent to look forward to. We've got Fernandinho in the centre defensive midfield position with Gundogan and Bernardo Silva. Phil Foden coming off the left. Gabriel Jesus and Sterling is replacing Jack Grealish, who, to be honest, I thought could have started this game. He had a good game against United on Sunday, where they battered their Manchester rivals, and I thought he could be starting, but he's on the bench, along with big names like Kevin De Bruyne and Rodri. De Bruyne, he's got a booking, so I think Pep's probably nursing his, he's sort of looking after that situation, doesn't want him getting banned for the next round. As for Sporting, they're doing the 3-4-3. It's what they always do. They're 2nd in the Portuguese league. They've had a few people suspended, a few people injured. You've got Mateus Nunes, is their big player. He's a big, proper young talent in Europe. He's suspended for this game. Their defensive midfield talisman, Paulinho, is also injured, as well as Pedro Goncalves, who a few people might know, a few links to Barcelona over the summer. He's also injured on that right side. But Ruben Amorim, their manager, says that they're going to come out fighting this game. They're 5-0 down. But they think they can still get in this. Amazingly, we might have an amazing time on our hands here still.
Thank you very much to our panel. We will hope to go back to you guys very soon with all the updates. Our reporter Adam Tilgner spoke with members of Save St Mary's Leisure Centre Group about their campaign.
In Southampton is set to be closed despite a number of objections. The leisure centre has been managed by Solent University on behalf of Southampton City Council since 2010, offering the local community access to a range of indoor activities. Petitions and consultations have been handed to Southampton City Council, but both Nick Chaffee and Barbin Ishfaq believe that the people of Southampton are being ignored.
All the consultations and petitions that were handed in, I think it was over 1,500 petitions, and 1,700 consultations.
How far you coaching to take you?
The council are there for the community and the people, so they should not, they shouldn't ignore it. It's in black and white, and it's all online, and that's we feel that they are ignoring the people of Southampton and the community.
Due to its vicinity to the university and student accommodation across the street, Nick claims the centre was a popular destination and could be run profitably.
I think, we have to remind the councillors that we pay our council tax, and these are public services. Obviously, if they open the centre 7 days a week, they could generate more income. There's a weights room in there that's been closed for 3 years. If they reopen that, it's extremely popular. A lot of people were using the weights room. So there's potential for the council to gain income from this, in the sense you've got an investment there. That the actual hall floor is worth about £100,000 if you were going to build a new one, let alone the building itself. So you've got an asset there. Clearly, if you use that asset well, it's a benefit financially, it's an income to the council, but it's a benefit to the community. People are fit, people are healthy, people are happy, young people aren't out on the street, so you're actually saving money. You shut this down, it's going to cost you.
Campaigners have played an active role to try to keep the historic building open to the public. As long as the building stands unused, Nick, Parveen and others across the local community will continue to fight for its reopening.
For more information about that, go to www.solentjournalism.co.uk. But right now, I'm delighted to say I am joined in the studio by Matt Graves. Matt, how are you?
I'm well, thank you. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. So you used to play semi-professional football until an unfortunate injury occurred. What can you tell us about that?
So first and foremost, I was a goalkeeper. I've been a goalkeeper pretty much all my life, and throughout my entire playing days, I loved being it. I loved the competitive nature of myself versus other people. And going down for a one-on-one when I was playing, I just got it completely wrong. Just went head first straight into a guy's knee, turned my head, so it was like knee to the head and shin pad to the face, and I was knocked out and suffered quite a serious head injury.
And now, obviously, you can't play contact football, which is unfortunate, but you managed to get your UEFA B licence, and you're now striving towards get your UEFA A coaching licence. Obviously, that's at the top level of coaching you can get. So how far do you want coaching to take you?
I'd really like to make my career out of it. Obviously, with my course at uni doing football studies as well, I think there's such a big emphasis on what I want to do in the future, and there's such a big drive and a need for younger coaches coming through into the game. So I'd really like to make my career out of it and make it my full-time job. Yeah,
absolutely. And now you manage Southampton Women's Football Club, and it's a great achievement as it is. But however, the women's game we don't really feel is spoke about as enough as the men's game. Why do you think that is?
It's really hard to understand. So to really understand why women's football is where it is now, you have to go back 100 years to when football was first invented 150 years ago. It was invented in private schools played by upper class white boys. Upper class white teachers were the refs and the coaches, and it was then the Industrial Revolution where it was made into a working class sport, where the Saturday 3 o'clock kickoff was born. They would work Saturday morning and then go play their factory football leagues in the afternoons. And that's when the first league structures for the men came in place. And again, it's 50 years down the line. Fast forward another 50 years to the First World War, and that's when women's football really started to take place, when the men were off fighting, but there were still league structures in place and there was still an outcry for football. So that's when women stepped in. So in 1914, the first official women's football match was born. And that continued up until 1921. And the standard of women's football was so high. But obviously when the men came back, the standard was lower because there was less pool of talent because obviously, unfortunately, so many died during the First World War. Now the FA saw this and in worry that the women's game would overtake the men's, banned women from playing on FA affiliated pitches. That ban at the time was infinite. Now we know that it lasted 50 years till 1971. And then it came back in 1971, but obviously nowhere near the level that it was. And it was still kind of frowned upon, women playing football, especially in the early 70s. So even before a ball was kicked, you're 100 years behind. Now you're 50 years behind as well. And it's taken until 4 years ago now, 2018, for the WSL, which is the Women's Super League, to finally go full-time professional. So there's just because of that, there's just such a stigma around women's football and how far behind it is compared to the men's game, and we can really trace back to the roots of football being invented.
Yeah, that's interesting. I didn't actually know that. I felt like I was in a lecture with a certain Mr. Off the Hide. I think some of the panel might know what I mean by that. And do you think the women's football should get more coverage, especially now we're seeing more and more of these women clubs getting more and more staff in and becoming more like the men's game with that academy atmosphere and that professional club atmosphere?
Yeah, I think it should. And the only way we can grow the women's game is by putting it out there. So there's a fantastic app called the FA Players app. So that has games from the WSL and from the Championship, which are free to watch on your phone. There's more games being on BBC, BT have a deal with it now, and Barclays have put money into it. So the more that it's publicised, the more that it's watched, and the more sponsors it gets, like Barclays put £1 million into the WSL, that's only going to grow the women's game because women can then go properly full-time, especially in the Championship as well, where that's only semi-pro. And you're only going to get better because you're developing more, there's going to be better quality of coaches, which is only going to grow the women's game even more.
Yeah, perfect. Well, Matt, thank you so much for coming in today. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
On to the Hampshire Senior Cup now, where Barnaby Page is covering Farnborough against Afc Portchester.
Oh, hi. Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, so England had a good day yesterday after a recovery. However, it was a poor morning for the side. Wickets for Jayden Sells. He took 4 wickets, including the last wicket of Johnny Bairstow for 140. This made England were all out for 311. However, West Indies got off to a good start with the bat in the first game of the era without Broad and Anderson, who have been England's best bowlers for years. At lunch, there were 44 without loss. Chris Wokes had another awful day overseas. A great bowler in the country, in England. However, overseas has an average of over 55, which just isn't good enough. However, England have recovered well from that poor bowling performance. Campbell was removed by Overton, Brathwaite was removed by Wood, and then the difference maker Stokes, as he always does, picked up a wicket of Brooks, and then Blackwood was removed by Wokes, who, despite his poor performance today, has picked himself up a wicket. And at tea, they were 127 for 4, and they're now currently 150 for 4 West Indies.
They're talking about the cricket rather than Barnaby covering Farnborough. We'll get to Barnaby as soon as we can. But the games have kicked off now. 2 of them have kicked off, Hartley Paul and Dundee. What, Joe, can you tell us in the early stages of the Hartley Paul game? What's going on?
It's a bit like pinball at the moment with Hartley Paul and Rotherham. Rotherham seems to be dominating the ball a little bit more. Hartley Paul just need to settle a bit. Obviously, they're the lower down team. They're actually 35 places below Rotherham in the Football League. So, yeah, they just need to settle down, get their foot on the ball. Rotherham just going through the paces, passing it around the back, getting a feel for the ball. Yeah, other than that, not much to report on.
And Jake, obviously Dundee trying to get out of the relegation zone. They currently sit bottom of the Scottish Premier League. Is anything convincing you so far in these early stages that they could do so?
Not really. I mean, the game hasn't really got going yet. I mean, Dundee and St Mirren, they're just sort of kicking it long to each other. There's no real control. But there has been a change. I think Ashcroft hasn't started this game. Instead, it's Rossi's going to play at the back instead alongside Sweeney. So we'll see how that goes in the game. I'm not sure how many games Rossi's played this season, but Ashcroft was a main staple in that defence for Dundee. So it'll be interesting to see how Brophy and Ronan go about getting past Rossi at the back. Brophy has picked up a knock early on, though. He hurt his elbow in a challenge from Sweeney. So we'll just see how he gets on in the rest of the game.
Early stages of the game so far, but still so much to cover. And we can now go live to Saj Rahman at Bracknell, covering Bracknell versus Guernsey. Saj, early stages again, but what can you tell us?
Louis, it's been all Bracknell so far. And it could be a penalty. The referee has given a penalty just now. I've missed who it was, but Bracknell got the penalty. I was about to tell you that Guernsey, it was the first time they came out their half and had a decent position free kick, which Ross Allen struck straight at the goalkeeper. But now Bracknell have a penalty, so you might want to stay with me here. I believe it will be Seb Bowman, the top goal scorer, to take for Bracknell. They've been camped in the Guernsey half from the opening minute, as Guernsey have been defending the edge of their box with all their might. And it will indeed be Seb Bowerman who's standing over the ball. He's picked up the ball. The referee has booked. It was Jamie Dodd, the captain of Guernsey, that has been booked there. Lucas Hanley did save a penalty. The Guernsey goalkeeper did save a penalty the last time they had an away fixture against Thatcham Town. He dived to his left to save a Harvey Harry penalty. So can he make it 2-2? Or will Seb Bowerman extend his lead at the top of the Golden Boot race in this division? He's placed the ball down now. He stepped back a couple of yards. Lucas Hanley jumping up and tapping the crossbar, trying to intimidate him. The 17-year-old goalkeeper has been in incredible form, kept 2 clean sheets in the last 2 games for Guernsey. But Seb Bowerman now awaits a referee's whistle. And the ref now looks set to blow his whistle. And yes, the ref is blowing his whistle. Seb Bowerman steps up. And Lucas Hanley nearly gets there down to his left. But it's 1-0 to Bracknell, who go take the lead within the opening 10 minutes. It's Seb Bowerman who extends his lead at the top of his 25th goal of the season. A lovely penalty down into the bottom left corner. The keeper guessed the right way, but couldn't quite get his hand to it. And Bracknell have the lead very early on. It could be a long evening here for Guernsey.
Thank you, Saj. So Bracknell go 1-0 up there, courtesy of a penalty. The young goalkeeper nearly getting a hand to it, but it is 1-0 to Bracknell. British billionaire Nick Candy says he is planning a potential takeover of Chelsea Football Club after Roman Abramovich listed the club up for sale last week. The Russian has owned the Premier League giant since 2003 and has insisted he will only sell the club to the right buyer. Candy, a boyhood Chelsea fan, is attempting to form a consortium of international investors to place a bid for an estimate of £3 billion. The 49-year-old believes his background as a property developer could give him an advantage with any plans to rebuild Stamford Bridge to extend the capacity to £60,000. As a Chelsea fan myself, lads, I want a Chelsea fan to come in and buy the club. We've had so much success under Roman Abramovich. But what are your boys' thoughts on him selling the club and trying to find a new owner?
Well, I mean, personally, I think it'll be very, very interesting to see, obviously, what happens with this whole Chelsea takeover because, I mean, it's come out of nowhere, really. No one's expected it. It's happened, and it feels like he's got to sell it immediately now, obviously, before he gets his assets seized. So it'll be interesting with whoever comes in, be it this guy or someone else, what happens to Chelsea, whether they stay fighting at the top end of the table or whether when the Abramovich money trail is pulled, whether they'll sink back down the league. So I'm very interested to see what happens with that one.
And Joe and Liam, I know that your 2 clubs have owners that feel like you don't really care about the club, and we can see football becoming so much more business-wide and American-orientated. Do you think that's something that could happen with Chelsea?
I think, potentially it could. I mean, as a Chelsea fan yourself, I don't know how you feel about the takeover or the loss of Abramovich. I know some Chelsea fans are split. Some are saying, get him out. He wanted to knock down Stamford Bridge and sell parts of it at some point. I think he wanted to rip up where there was a memorial to a previous player or something like that. He wanted to rip up the ground. A lot of players and fans got a bit upset about that. I don't know how you feel. How do you feel about it, Louis?
Oh, well, you know me, I'm just easy going as long as the trophies come in.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. So do you want the trophies to come in, then sort of maybe lose the moral fibre of the club, or would you prefer maybe this guy to come in who says he's a Chelsea fan and maybe you don't win as many trophies, maybe he's not as ambitious with his money?
I just want somebody who's going to care about the club and the history of the club, because you see Roman Abramovich, he clearly cares about the club,
Yeah.
and when his visa was taken away, he was trying to change nationality so he could try and get into the country. But yeah, interesting thoughts nevertheless. But we can now go live to Barnaby Page, who is covering Farnborough versus Portchester in the Hampshire Senior Cup semi-final. Barnaby, what can you tell us?
Relatively comfortable for Farnborough so far. Going into this game, into this cup competition, they've won their last 3 games 4-0, beating the likes of Portsmouth. So yeah, it's going to be a big game so far for Portchester, one of the biggest games in their history coming into tonight. So it'll be an interesting game. I reckon it'll probably be a Farnborough win, but I suppose we'll see as the game goes on.
Okay, thank you, Barnaby. Not long now until the Champions League big games kick off. But both teams at the moment currently just still in the tunnel. But Liam, what's the atmosphere like at the Etihad?
Well, I mean, it's a bit of a subdued atmosphere. I mean, they're 5-0 up. I mean, the Etihad fans probably are expecting another big roll over here. I mean, the way I see it, are Man City going to come out and just go in cruise control, maybe pick up a 1-0 or stinker 0-0? But I think they should lay down a marker. We saw Bayern Munich last night. They smashed Salzburg 7-1. And that's a big statement to the rest of Europe. And I think if Man City want to be considered the big boys, they've got to win the Champions League. I personally think they have the best squad and the best manager in the world, but if you haven't got the Champions League, I mean, there's not much to show for it. So I think they've got to go out there. They've got to really put the sword to Sporting Lisbon here, despite the defensive woes. And I think 4 or 5, they could make this a double-digit aggregate.
Absolutely. The Champions League being the stablemate for any European club to win. And Fraser, Lionel Messi stepping foot once again out onto the Bernabeu. Do you reckon he'll get booed? What reception do you reckon that little magician will get?
I mean, the Real Madrid fans have had years of Lionel Messi torment, haven't they, at the Bernabeu? It's his 20th game tonight at the Bernabeu. He's missed a few games through injury this season, but his form has been in the Champions League, scoring 5 times in 6 Champions League games. So yeah, the Real Madrid fans are up and roaring. They're all on their feet. It's a packed-out Bernabeu, and yeah, I can't wait for this one.
Good stuff. The scoring of Josh Taylor versus Jack Catterall has come under some scrutiny after many fans and pundits believe that Catterall should have won. Josh Taylor won 113 to 112, retaining his super lightweight belt on Saturday. The British Board of Boxing Control said it would investigate the scoring, and Sir Lindsay Hoyle, Speaker of the House of Commons and Catterall's MP in Chorley, has asked the police to investigate the scoring. Nima, we're going back to you now for live updates of the Manchester United versus Wolverhampton Under-18s Youth Cup. Anything happened?
In the minute, it's 1-0 to Man United, and all I can say is that this has been all Man United so far. It's been a great game, very entertaining. Man United's forward players, especially Alejandro Garnacho, who's just been absolutely tormenting the Wolverhampton Wanderers defence. And I think, to be honest, Man United somehow, if they should be at least 2 or 3 up by half-time. And I think Alejandro Garnacho has just been called up to the Argentinian first team for their World Cup qualifiers. And I think he's definitely one to watch for Man United fans in the future.
Thank you, Nima. We hope to come back to you soon. We can now go live to Ollie Power, who is at Fawley. Ollie, what can you tell us, my friend?
Yeah, I'm at Fawley, who faced Whitchurch in Wessex 1. And to be honest with you, it's a classic non-league start. A few long balls, very windy night, a lot of rain, a few physical challenges early on. But yeah, refs let them go. And yeah, I can give you more updates in a bit, but nothing's happened so far.
Thank you very much, Ollie, for your lovely insight, as always, my friend. So, Joe and Jake, a little bit more coming on in your game. Jake, what's going on in the Scottish Premier League?
Not a lot, really. It's more the teams are just trying to feel each other out a bit. Dundee did have a sort of half chance that was blocked. Anderson had a shot outside the area that struck Tanser in the middle of the box, and it just went out for a corner, and then the resulting corner was easily dealt with by St Mirren. But St Mirren have had some promising opportunities. Like right now, they're just on the outside of the area of Dundee's box. ball crossed into the middle and has now gone out for a corner. Well, no, I think we've just kept this kid out for a throw-in, so not a lot going on here, just a bit end-to-end.
Lovely. And Joe, Rotherham obviously top of League One at the moment in the Papa John's semi-final. Can we see a bit of an upset coming from Hartley Paul here?
Well, just as we say that, there's a chart. Oh, it's gone across goal there. Molyneux is causing a lot of trouble for Rotherham down that right side. He's really playing well. First chance he got into the box, he got a shot on target, which forced a corner. Couldn't do anything with the corner. But Bowler for Rotherham, he's been unreal so far on the left. He cut inside twice, 2 shots on target so far. Yeah, he's one to look out for during the game.
Seems like a slow start so far, but hopefully more to come. Barnaby at Farnborough, what can you tell us? Has anything happened?
Well, actually, Portchester have had the biggest chance of this game so far. Tricky player, number 10, called Felipe Barbalos, just hit the crossbar. Considering that they're the underdogs tonight, they're definitely up for this game and aren't prepared to have a go at the bigger team. So 12 minutes played on the clock so far, and it's been quite an even, exciting game.
So Barnaby, 27 places between the two sides. Is there anything that shows that in these opening moments?
To be honest, yes and no. I think Farnborough have been probably the more dominant of the teams, but they've only created half chances, whereas it's clear that Portchester had the bigger chance of this game.
Thank you very much, Barnaby. We'll get to you soon with updates. Jamie Vardy has suffered a blow to his knee, which will see him on the sidelines for up to 3 to 4 weeks. Leicester manager Brendan Rodgers confirmed this, speaking ahead of their clash in the Europa Conference. It'll be a huge blow for his side as Patson Daka and Kaleki Iheanacho both seek to steal that number 9 spot. Fellas, Jamie Vardy, obviously a big name in the Leicester household. How much of a blow do you think this will be for them and Brendan Rodgers' job?
Just come back from injury as well. So,
he has, yes.
Yeah, I thought he was really sharp when I watched him recently. Yeah, it's a shame for him, but I think it kind of shows his age. He's getting on a bit. Leicester need to find a replacement anyway, so now's the time, really. I thought Ivan Toney might be a good one for them to go for. He's been playing well, scored a hat-trick at the weekend as well, so maybe one to look out for Leicester there.
And Fraser, Patson Daka is Leicester's top goal scorer in Europa League, and now they're in the Europa Conference, of course, but he is still up there. Do you think he's the one to take over the number 9?
Well, I watched him play against Spartak Moscow, I believe, in the group stage. Leicester played them, and he was so impressive. I think he scored a hat-trick, possibly even 4 that day. So he was very good, and a lot of people were saying he's that Jamie Vardy type of player. He's quick, he goes in behind. But I think when I watched Leicester the other day, I saw Jamie Vardy's not done yet. I think if he can keep himself fit, he's still got another season. I know people say age is catching up with him, but he's still got the pace and he's still got that directness. Maybe it's that hunger from his non-league football days, but I don't think he's done yet. And I think Daka needs to learn his trade off Vardy first.
And Jamie Vardy, of course, still having his wind-up attitude, which we can't let go from the Premier League just yet. Saj Rahman at Bracknell versus Guernsey. Last time we spoke to you, Saj, Bracknell scored a penalty. Anything else happened?
Yes, almost instantly, Louis. Guernsey haven't had anything going forward. However, they had a corner straight after the goal, and Jacob Fallais, the 22-year-old centre-half, rose highest. Every time I've come to watch Guernsey to play, every time I've watched Guernsey come play, he never lost a header in the air. And in the attacking box, he's a real threat. He got a powerful header on the penalty spot, down to the keeper's right, but the keeper's got his foot out to stop the ball going in, and then McLeish White just now had a dangerous cross stopped by the young goalkeeper Lucas Hanley. It's still all Bracknell here, still 1-0, however, it could be 2 or 3. The last time this game was played at Guernsey's Foots Lane, it ended 3-0 with the hat-trick scorer Dave Tarpe scoring a hat-trick there, but this time round he's on the bench. He might not even be needed. It could be a long evening, as I was saying. However, Guernsey have tried to get a little bit of a foot on the ball as they have to force themselves to come out and try and get something from this game. But yeah, it's still 1-0 here at the SB Stadium.
Thank you very much, Saj Rahman, in the turtleneck there, keeping nice and warm. Fraser, you got excited there, mate. What's happening?
Yeah, I did get a bit excited. I mean, Real Madrid are all over PSG in the opening stage of this game. I've not seen a start to a game like this. It's very, very high press. The challenges are flying in. Dani Carvajal just went absolutely flying through Kimpembe. I don't want to say two-footed, but it was a vicious challenge. There's another foul there. And then he gave it to the fans to get the fans on their feet. So it's a very feisty start here. And I think Real Madrid, if they take their chances, they could take an early lead here.
And Vinicius Junior, who we know has been in fine form this season, he's a young prospect. How's he performing on the big stage?
Funny you should say that. He's just won a free kick, I'd say sort of towards the left side of the box, just outside the box, which Real Madrid could look to whip it in and maybe get a centre-back to head it in or you know, a centre-mid. But yeah, he's running absolute right down this left-hand side, causing Danilo Pereira some real problems.
Thank you very much. Liam, your game's kicked off with Man City Sporting. Any big talking points to talk about so far?
Well, I thought that Man City would come out and they dominate possession with like Bernardo Silva, Gundogan. I mean, Sterling's had a little run through the middle. He was taken down, they didn't give the foul for it. But it's Sporting have been putting up a bit of a fight in these early moments. 5 minutes in, it's sort of sat in the middle of the park. It's not gone anywhere near either penalty box. I've got a little stat about Egan Riley, actually. When Man City goalkeeper Scott Carson made his debut in 2004, Egan Riley was 1 year old. And he's playing tonight in his first ever game in the Champions League. How mental is that? I mean, it's just crazy. Like, I remember a time where I was sort of that age, and I was like, oh yeah, that's me. And now I'm 22, and I'm past it. But these lads are still out there, you know. It's mental. It's crazy.
You're not past it for this job, Liam. Don't worry. We still want you here, mate. We can now go live to the newsroom once again with Adam Oliver giving us updates on the cricket.
See, I'm actually ready this time. Yeah. You've joined me just as Ben Stokes is bowling a Ben Stokes sort of spell. He's not giving anything away. He's running in. He's bowling at the top of his game, and he's causing Holder and Bonner all sorts of problems. And it's only a matter of time until there's a breakthrough here, I think. And England need a couple quick wickets before the end of play. Otherwise, it's going to be a day that West Indies are going to think that they've had the better of. Yeah, and Mark Wood's been bowling well, running in, bowling 93 miles an hour. They're having a bit of problems with the ball. It's kind of losing its shape a bit. It's only going to delay England a bit more. But yeah, 152 for 4, West Indies.
Thank you very much, Adam. WBC champion Tyson Fury has announced he will retire from boxing following his upcoming fight with Dillian Whyte. The Brit is set to face White on the 23rd of April at Wembley Stadium, and despite the Gypsy King's announcement, many in the boxing world are taking the news with a pinch of salt, with this not being the first retirement announcement we have heard from Fury. Personally, I don't want him to retire, mainly just because I want the Fury-AJ fight. I don't know what you boys think, but that fight has to happen before he retires.
No doubt. This is a fight that's been hyped and hyped and hyped ever since AJ first stepped onto the scene. And for Fury to walk away when it was right there, and is right there, just dangling, I mean, it'd be a shame, it really would.
It would, it would. Ollie Power going live in Wessex 1. Any updates for me, my friend?
Yeah, there's just been a huge shout for a penalty in the Foley box after Whitchurch attacker Harry Edmondson struck it, but no handball given by the ref. And Foley hit back with another chance at the other end. Oh! Whitchurch have just whipped in a great cross, but no one on the end of it at the back post, and it remains 0-0 here.
Power there with a great Gary Neville impression and also half his head missing. Jake, you got a bit excited there, I could see. Appealing for something, maybe? What's going on?
Yeah, well, it looked like it should have been a free kick to Dundee in a promising position, but it wasn't given us. St Mirren have got a corner now that's going to be whipped in by Tate. Ball's very high towards the back post. It's over absolutely everybody. It's going to be recovered by Tanser at the back post. So not really a lot going on down here, or up there in Scotland, really, not down here. So yeah, I'd go to Joe if I was you.
Joe, has anything happened? Thanks for doing my job for me, Jake.
Yeah, well, Rotherham Hartley Paul were on the attack, and we've had a really weird situation here with, so what's happened is, Wood, the captain, has there's been an attack, Hartley Paul going through, Wood, the captain for Rotherham, has just elbowed him right in the, that's a red card, that. But the ref hasn't seen it. He's given him a yellow. It should be a straight red. He's elbowed him right in the throat. He's gone down. That's a horrendous thing to do. He's looked at him and then he's gone for the elbow, but the ref hasn't seen it. The Hartley Paul players are furious, but yeah, nothing other than that.
Well, obviously, Jeff Stelling being a Hartley Paul fan, there'll be no bias here with that one. Eastleigh beat Totton last night 1-0 in their cup match. Our reporter spoke to both managers after their feisty affair came to an end.
They're on their way to the final of the Hampshire Senior Cup. They beat AFC Totton 1-0 in a tight game away at the Snow Stadium with Tom Braggs' 19th minute strike. Spitfires almost managed to go 2 up 20 minutes into the second half when Reece Taylor delivered this free kick. And Brendan Wilson was the man who met it. Moments later, Totton had their best chance of the game, coming close to an equaliser through Ethan Taylor. In the 81st minute, Eastleigh poured the pressure on, but were thwarted by Totton goalkeeper Noyce, and with just 5 minutes left, Vince Harper left Noyce with his heart in his mouth. Eastleigh Elite Development Squad head coach Luke Hardy took charge with 13 of the 16-strong squad coming from the development team and was impressed with the youth players.
I generally couldn't be prouder of the performance. At times we might have rode our luck at times, but I think we had chances where we could have maybe killed it off a little bit more as well. So a really positive performance and a really positive night for the whole football club and certainly the youth programme.
Totton now have to move on from this defeat and turn their focus to their promotion hopes. They sit currently third in the Southern South League and play second place Cirencester Town next. Yesterday's game has made team selection difficult for manager Daniel Sackman.
We've got a lot to play for. It's going to be a very, very tough end to the season. We've got some massive, massive games that could have a real big impact on who's going to get out of this league. And I think it'll just become more apparent over the next few weeks which one of our guys individually and as a group are up for the fight and are able to do what's required. Obviously, we pride ourselves on being a very free-flowing, attack-minded footballing team. You're not always going to get that luxury, even at home. So are we going to be able to do what's required to get out of the league? That's the question I've been asking the boys, and hopefully they ask themselves. And if we can find an answer, fantastic.
Eastleigh will face the winner of the Farnborough versus Portchester game that kicked off at 7:45 tonight in the final of the Cup.
In the Champions League, Liverpool Inter Milan 1, and that is the latest score. Thank you to everyone.
Thank you very much for that, guys. Fraser Day has been chirping away in my ear non-stop. Imagine my shock. Fraser, what's going on?
Well, as you speak, Kylian Mbappe is still on goal. It's a great save from Thibaut Courtois. It's been all Real Madrid so far, really. Completely smothering PSG. Got them pegged back right in their own box. Vinicius Junior, you spoke to me about him earlier. He is causing absolute havoc down that left-hand side. He's got Hakimi on strings. But PSG are getting some joy on the counter-attack, particularly down this left channel, playing it into Mbappe, who's gone through twice now. But yeah, both teams are playing 4-3-3, but Real Madrid are playing so much higher. PSG, I would imagine if you looked at their average positions, has been pretty much on the edge of their own box because, yeah, they've been defending for their lives. Real Madrid really up for it. Would expect a goal here soon.
Liam, I would come to you, but I think our reporter Saj Rahman has something for us over in Bracknell. Saj, what's the latest?
There's been an early substitution here at the SB Stadium. There's been an injury for Guernsey's Carl Smith, and they've brought on youngster 17-year-old Keane Domal for his 4th appearance for Guernsey. He's 17 years old, but he scored with his very first shot for Guernsey against Binfield a couple of weeks ago as Bracknell come forward now. Across the end, it's a free header, and it's cleared off the line. Jacob Valles clears off the line. Bracknell very nearly took a 2-goal lead. I was about to come and tell you that Guernsey have really started to put their foot on the pedal as they try and get forward and get back into this game. But Bracknell there, very, very big chance, cleared off the line. I think it was Seb Baumann again, but Jacob Valles, he almost scored down this end, and instead he's cleared one off the line. Bracknell coming forward again. There's a nice dummy there, it's crossed in, it's cleared again by Jacob Valles. As I was saying earlier, this man doesn't miss a header in the air, in the opposition box or in the defensive box, and he's been a stalwart at the back so far, keeping Guernsey within touching distance. However, they have got a mountain to climb as Bracknell have kept 18 clean sheets this season out of their 28 games. So, yeah, Guernsey are going to find it hard to score here, but they're pushing on the door, let's just say that.
And Bracknell, Saj, obviously being 18 points clear at the top. I asked Barnaby a similar question, but is there much to differentiate these teams? Is there that much golfing class? Like you said, Guernsey are coming back into it. Do you think they'll get a goal back?
I think at the moment, it'd be hard to say whether Guernsey will get a goal. However, Bracknell are so free-flowing going forward. They scored 69 goals this season, averaging about 2.6 goals per game. So it'll be tough either way. I mean, Guernsey have only kept 4 clean sheets all season, so for them to concede was a bit expected, I'd say. But in terms of difference on the pitch, you can tell this Bracknell side are very, very well drilled. There's a reason why they only need 7 more points to mathematically claim the league. However, 6 points will do it due to their vastly superior goal difference. So they've got a lot of financial backing here at Bracknell, and they'll be confident to try and push up even further. So next season they could be going for promotion again, and you wouldn't back against them because they are such a very, very well-drilled side who absolutely hate conceding. They've got the best defensive record out of all the top 7 leagues in England. So yeah, that pretty much says it all, Louis.
Thank you very much, Saj. Joe, your feet are tapping away. Has there been a goal?
Jeff Stelling, eat your heart out. Hartley Paul have gone 1-0 up with an absolutely beautiful ball from the captain Featherstone, and Chris Gray with the volley. Unbelievable technique. Side-footed volley, posting in. He looked offside, but after there's no VAR in this game, obviously, but he looked offside, but after deliberation from the cameras, he wasn't. Perfectly in line. The technique on that volley was unreal. Just to side-foot it into the keeper's right-hand side. Unbelievable.
Brilliant. If I was Jeff Stelling right now, I'd be stood in this chair celebrating. But instead of hosting Premier League matches, instead we go to Barnaby Page in Farnborough. Barnaby, what can you tell us?
Yeah, Farnborough building up more and more pressure now. It's looking more and more likely that 5-10 minutes ago they had a shot just about saved by the keeper, and they've just had another shot cleared off the line. It's getting more and more desperate for Portchester out there. It's just a matter of time here, Louis.
And the crowd, Barnaby, is anything happen with them? Is it a hostile crowd? What's going on?
Not really much of a crowd, Louis. I reckon about 200 are here tonight out of a potential 7,000. But credit to those who have come out on this cold night. But nothing to really write home about in terms of the crowd, Louis, unfortunately.
Yeah, it looks absolutely packed out there, mate. Not going to lie. We can now go to the newsroom once again, where Nima is going to be giving us an update on the Manchester United game. Nima, what can you tell us?
Thanks, Louis. You've just come in at the perfect time as Man United have just doubled their lead from star man Alejandro Garnacho, who I spoke about earlier. He's cut inside on the right foot and he's just absolutely whipped it top bends into the top corner. Absolutely beautiful stuff, and it's no more than a deserve at the minute. And he's been absolutely the star man, Garnacho, sorry, and you can tell he's been learning from Cristiano Ronaldo because he's absolutely just put this. The keeper's got absolutely no chance so far, so, and that's coming up on the hour mark as well. So Man United just doubled their lead on the hour mark with Wolverhampton Wanderers. I mean, they've been okay. They've had a couple chances here and there, but I don't see them coming back into this now. I mean, just looking back at this finish, it's absolutely beautiful. Top corner, right foot, cut inside, off the post and in. It's, I mean, what more do you want, really? It's FA Cup, magic of the FA Cup.
And Jake, you've just told me there's been a great chance at your game. What's going on?
Yeah, it really should be 1-0 St Mirren. Gorgic sort of just threw the ball up the line, really, with sort of a hit and hope ball. And all of the Dundee United players, not Dundee United, Dundee FC players just left it. And Jones was through on goal, and the keeper came and he was in absolute no man's land, and Jones just couldn't quite lift over the top of him to get it into the goal. But that really has been against the run of play. Dundee have really been on top here. They're in the penalty box now. Gorgic is just going to dribble it out the box. Really calm from Gorgic, great play there. But Dundee have been on top there and really success down the flanks. And the fullbacks really can't deal with him on the St Mirren side. There should be a goal in this soon.
Brilliant. Liam, you've sat there so quietly all night. What's going on, mate?
Well, there's no prizes for guessing who's been on top of this game. I mean, Man City have literally got the ball, and they've only just lost it. This is the first time I think I've seen Sporting actually get hold of the ball for more than 3 seconds. It's all been down the right. The front three, Jesus, Foden and Sterling, they're just flipping it around. They don't have any positions. They just sort of float around like Pep's forwards like to do. But no chances. Like I said earlier, there's no chances. This is what I was worried about, that they'd come out in cruise control and not come out and make a statement. And they really do need to get some goals, I think.
Well, you've been sat there so silently, unlike Fraser's water bottle that fell over just a minute ago. Hopefully more noise for you to make in a bit. Fraser, PSG versus Real Madrid. Any chances? Any more tackles?
Well, there's been a bit of a balance shift, to be fair. Real Madrid were completely on top, but PSG slowly growing into this game. I think Real Madrid's high press actually is almost the undoing of them now, because PSG are sort of quite comfortably passing it round them, shifting forward. Messi's dropping quite deep to get on the ball. Vinicius Jr. still causing problems when he gets on the ball, but Neymar had a good chance a second ago where he cut inside, maybe a bit greedy, perhaps could have laid it off to someone on the edge of the box, but he had opted for the shot and it was blocked. But yeah, there's something brewing here. I say it every time, but there is definitely a goal coming.
And our Scottish man, Jake, you've just thrown your hands in the air in excitement. What's going on, mate?
St Mirren should have scored again. It's an unbelievable play by Kilty on the right. A ball's played over the top to him and he somehow managed to keep it in right on the byline. And he pulled it back to Brophy, who's got all the time in the world to pick his spot. And he just picked the right thigh of Rossi, right on the goal line. A brilliant block by the lad, to be fair, but it really should be 1-0 St Mirren.
Both teams winless in their last 4. Maybe St Mirren could grab a goal soon, but we can now go to Adam Oliver in the newsroom, who again is going to be giving us the riveting cricket update.
Yeah, I wish I could say it's been riveting, but not a lot's happened since you last came to me. It's been a bit of an arduous day, really. It's been a lot of back and forth. There's not been too many high-profile things happening. The odd run here or there, but England don't really look like they're going to be taking a wicket anytime soon. The pitch has got flatter, runs are becoming easier, the ball's getting older. England bowlers aren't as skilled as Jimmy Anderson and Stuart Broad, who were left out, remember, for apparently there being a red ball reset. So, yeah, how much they have missed them so far.
Well, the ball's getting older and it looks like you're getting older watching that cricket game constantly, mate. Ollie Power, I've just seen you put your thumbs up. Please tell me your head is in shot, or has there been a goal?
No, unfortunately, still no goals. It remains 0-0, but Whitchurch certainly laying their authority on this game now, stringing a few nice passes together in the midfield. Probably playing better than Foley so far, as quiet as it's been, which does represent their positions in the league. Foley struggling at 18th, whereas Whitchurch in the top half. And I think I'm just looking for something that's better than the last time these two played, which was a 0-0 as well.
Ollie, you might as well be running the line, my friend. Not much to report there, but please keep us updated as they go in. Liam, you've just shouted. What's happening?
Well, it's a classic Raheem Sterling chance. I mean, it's Gabriel Jesus down that right-hand side. He's switched with Sterling. Sterling's in the middle. And we always see it every week in the Premier League that you put a low ball into the box and a City player's there. Sterling's flying in. And I think it was the right back, or the right centre-back, I think it must have been Gonzalo Inacio. He just clears it out for a throw-in. But it was an amazing chance. It drops at Sterling's feet. And yeah, just a little nick off the defender and it takes it away.
I'm not even going to try and pronounce that right back's name.
Gonzalo Inacio.
Brilliant. But speaking of right backs, how's the youngster getting on there?
He's doing all right. You know what? They're going down that right side like they would sort of with Kyle Walker. They're not avoiding him like you think they might do. I know, he's a young player. He's a young player. He's getting a few good crosses in. He's got a lot of experience in the youth setup. So I think if he can put in those low crosses and those whip crosses to the back stick, Sterling and Foden will be eating up.
And Joe, very quiet over there. I'm a massive fan of pizza, not a huge fan of Papa John's. Is there a reason why I should be more?
No, not at all. There's not Rotherham, as a team that are first in League One, you wouldn't think they were. Hartley Paul are playing them off the field here. They have got a corner though. We'll see what happens with that. But yeah, Hartley Paul are really playing them off. They've got so much more pace. It seems like Rotherham want to build slowly. Hartley Paul are breaking quick, fast. Molyneux and Gray are causing big problems down that right-hand side. Right and left-hand side. It's great fun. I think
Sorry,
something's
Joe,
happened.
I think Fraser, I was going to ask you another question, but Fraser has just made a brilliant noise, which means there is definitely going to be a chance.
Yeah, that was so close. Karim Benzema, the ball laid out to him outside the box, has wrapped his foot round. There's a chance here. Dani Carvajal cuts it back. No one in the box. And the keeper is scrambling again. It's a Real Madrid corner. Yeah, as I was saying, Karim Benzema laid out to him, left side of the box, wrapped his right foot round it, and it's gone inches wide of the post. Carvajal was massively offside there. I don't know how the lino's not flagged for that. But yeah, great chance of Real Madrid, just literally inches wide, looking at it again. Sorry to interrupt, Joe.
Real Madrid looking very strong and maybe progressing onto their 14th Champions League win. Jake, Scottish Premier League, anything to report on?
There's been a few half chances for Dundee. Pot shot from well, not really a pot shot. It was quite a lot of time on it. McGee, captain, he had a shot from range that flew straight over the bar, and Kerr had a volley. He struck quite well, but struck it straight into the stand. So the game's opening up though. It's actually becoming quite a lot more enjoyable than it was earlier. But yeah, so there should be a goal soon.
He's in it. Oh, he's been pulled down. Sorry.
Go on, Joe, take it away. Take the floor,
That looks like a last man foul there. The ball's through. Hartley Paul players literally through on goal. Been pulled down. This has got to be a red card. He's one-on-one here if he's not dragged down. The referee though, he should have given 2 red cards here to Rotherham players. But we'll see what he does. He's having a word. Hartley Paul players are furious. I'll see what's going. You can go somewhere else and you can come back to me.
Hartley Paul must be fuming. We can go live to Barnaby Page at Farnborough in the Hampshire Senior Cup semi-final. Barnaby, what can you tell us?
Well, Louis, I know a few minutes ago I told you that it's all Farnborough, but Portchester have had the bigger chances in this game. They've just had another massive chance. That was a very good save from the keeper. Felipe Barcelos looks like the main guy for Portchester tonight. It's going to be a tough one out there tonight, Louis.
Thank you very much, Barnaby. Fraser, another noise coming from your direction. What's going on?
Well, it's a bit of a theme here tonight, isn't it? But there is some good chances. Neymar just got on the ball there in the centre of the park and was trying to slip through Mbappe. And if he did, Mbappe was one-on-one in on the goal, and I reckon he probably would have scored. It's chances galore. It's end-to-end game. Yeah, I can't believe 26 minutes in, no team scored, but there's definitely a goal coming because this game has had everything so far.
I'll tell you what, mate, with all the noise coming over from your direction, we can have a zoo in here. But Vinicius Junior, you say, has been on top form tonight. Neymar on the opposite side for PSG, both Brazilian. Do you think there'll be a time, or do you think soon, Vinicius Junior will overtake Neymar in that Brazil starting lineup?
Well, I mean, obviously, they're both playing left wing tonight for their respective sides. Vinicius Junior so far, in terms of impact on the game, has made far greater impact than Neymar has. Neymar actually almost is dropping in deep. I don't know if that's because PSG have been pegged back a bit, but Neymar is dropping in more actually into that 10 role to try and get on the ball and put Mbappe through. But yeah, Vinicius Junior is running that channel. And to be honest, I think based on this game, Vinicius Junior is coming after Neymar's spot in that national side.
Something we've seen Lionel Messi do a lot of times in the Bernabeu, dropping deep, creating chances, scoring goals, maybe some for PSG tonight. Nima, live in the newsroom at Manchester United versus Wolverhampton Youth Cup. Nima, what's going on?
Thanks, Louis. Yeah, it's still 2-0 to Man United so far at Old Trafford. I mean, they've still looked pretty the best team so far. I mean, Wolves have made a slight tactical change. They've changed the formation, gone back to a solid back 4 from their back 3 that they started with. But currently at the minute, it's still 2-0 to Man United, and half an hour left to go in this FA Cup Youth semi-final at Old Trafford, and hopefully it'll be having some more goals soon. But at the minute, it's still 2-0, and Man United on course to go through to the final of the FA Youth Cup.
Thank you very much, Nemo. Great info as always. Ollie Power, again, what can you tell us?
Yeah, it's just been uproar behind me after a decision was given against Foley. Their striker, Mark Lilly, was in behind but given offside. And yeah, the fans, all 80 of the fans here screaming their hearts out. But yeah, other than that, I'd say the whole game has been in Whitchurch's favour. It was Nathan Lynch. He had a free kick on the edge of the box, really tested the keeper. He almost got on the end of another shot as well, another cross as well. He's ironically an ex-Foley man. But yeah, nothing much else in the half, still 0-0.
All 80 fans, you and Barnaby are having your work cut out there. Packed out crowds, as we can see. Joe, Speaking of uproar and bad decisions, what happened with that yellow card or red card? We don't know yet.
Yeah, no, you're right. It was a yellow card. On second look, he might not have been last man, but I think he's in now. I think it's a goal scoring opportunity, definitely. We've had a break in play because the Hartley Paul centre back Ferguson has had a waterfall of blood streaming out of his nose after taking an elbow in a 50-50 with the yellow carded Edwards Green for Rotherham. But yeah, he's up now. He's got some plugs in his nose and he's ready to carry on.
The fighting spirit that we all love in football. Saj Rahman, our favourite Apple CEO. Saj, what's going on, mate?
Steve Jobs, you can call me if you want for tonight. It's just gone half-time before the half-time whistle has just been blown by the referee. It's 1-0 to Bracknell Town, the runaway leaders of the Isthmian South Central Division against Guernsey here. However, just moments before the half-time whistle, a name that might ring a bell to these Southampton fans that will be watching there in Southampton, Glenn Letitia, the nephew of Matt Letitia, has been in the thick of the action here. The Guernsey boy himself and the Southampton legend, of course, his nephew has been getting into a bit of an argy-bargy. He had a chance from a long throw. He had a long throw. Jamie Dodd, the captain, just had a long throw from here. And he almost latched onto it from the second ball. However, he didn't quite get there. And then the defenders were shoving him about a bit. But he takes the fighting spirit of his related Matt Letitia of Southampton. He's not backing down from a fight, and he wants to come out victorious tonight, but it doesn't look likely at this moment in time, as Bracknell have just been brilliant. Their attacking play midway through this half, breaking through the lines, and Seb Bauman and Aaron McLeish-White causing all sorts of problems for Guernsey. However, Guernsey will be happy to go down the half-time tunnel just 1-0 down. They're still within touching distance. However, they will need an almighty effort to get back into this game despite the scoreline.
Thank you very much, Saj. Hopefully next time we come to you, you can let us know when the next iPhone is dropping, my friend. Fraser, again, another noise which could be added to the zoo. What's going on, mate?
Well, it's Messi magic, as it always is. Neymar's threaded a beautiful little ball in down the side on the edge of the 6-yard box. Perfectly weighted pass. And Messi, we all remember that chip he scored against Neuer in the Champions League a couple of years back. I don't know if he's gone for the same, though. I don't know if he's tried to chip the Courtois as he's coming out and spreading himself, but it's gone just across the edge of the goal line, basically. Anyone gambling on that, and it's a certain goal. But yeah, chances are actually falling PSG's way now, the best chances, I would say. Real Madrid's still in it, but there's been a definite change in play. PSG well on top now.
And Ancelotti on the sideline for Real Madrid, as we know, ex-Everton manager. Everton in serious danger of relegation.
I think regardless of the points deduction, I think Everton probably will go down anyway. I don't feel like their team is strong enough. I feel like the back line that they have is arguably a middle or even bottom of the Championship back four, and I feel like they don't offer enough going forward. Obviously, Calvert-Lewin's been out a lot with injury, and so has Richarlison. But with them back, I still don't think that they're going to score enough goals. That are going to score enough to stop the stop at the back. If you know what I mean.
There's been a goal.
We have a goal, and it's Fraser Day. Not quite the animal noise that we're used to. Fraser, PSG versus Real Madrid. What's going on?
It's Kylian Mbappe. Oh wait, no, it's offside. They're checking it. VAR. Kylian Mbappe there, just putting it in at the near post. It's a great ball over the top. I think it's Presnel Kimpembe. It does look offside. Into Nuno Mendes, who manages to keep it on the goal line and then cuts it back to Mbappe, who puts it in the near post, but it is offside. Nuno Mendes just made that run slightly too early from Kimpembe. I'm going to have to save my goal noise for another one because that's been ruled out.
Kylian Mbappe scoring at the Bernabeu, something we could see next season. But amongst all this excitement, unfortunately, we have to go back to the cricket with Adam Oliver. Adam, the cricket update, what can you tell us?
Well, it's actually the most exciting thing that's happened today. It started raining, and the groundsmen have had to come running on with their rain covers and cover the whole pitch. I mean, it's better than what England were doing up until now. They're probably in need of a break because it's been poor today from England. Jack Leach has bowled pretty poorly. And there's a young leg spinner called Matt Parkinson who's sitting there as 12th man who must be thinking, when am I going to get a game for England? But yeah, not much to report on apart from the rain. It's 167 for 4.
Thank you, Adam. We've had a goal chance, we've had a red card chance, we've had action over at Jake's Corner. Liam, unfortunately for you, mate, not much apart from that Sterling chance.
I'm not even paying for this and I want a refund. This is not the Vintage City. I mean, all the fans, I'm seeing all the fans at the Etihad. They've come, they've probably brought all their kids and that. You get to see Man City play. And this ain't Man City. This is a bunch of imposters, mate, I'll tell you. They're coming along and it's always that final ball. They're edge of the box. I've seen it with Foden, I've seen it with Sterling, I've seen it with Jesus. They get it on the edge of the box and that one cutting ball that they would shred in the Premier League, they would get that up right 10 times out of 10. It's just wayward. It's always out of bounds. And Sporting are loving it. They're sitting back and they're just absorbing this pressure. Nothing from City tonight.
It could be worse, mate. Your game could be called off for rain, like cricket. But there you go. You're watching the football, so hopefully it won't be. Barnaby at Farnborough once again. What's going on?
Okay, half-time here at Farnborough. 0-0 so far. We're joined with Lewis, who is a Portchester fan. Lewis, what do you think of the game so far?
No, I think the game's been really good in terms of our perspective. I mean, we've been able to get 3 chances. It would have been lovely to put one of them away, obviously, but considering we're 2 levels below, to be in the game still now and have a chance of going through to the final, yeah, really.
And what do you think of the game so far, in terms of a half?
I think, there's been moments where Farnborough have had those chances. There was a free kick on the edge of the box, but I think actually going into the second half, thinking how the half's progressed, we've had a few chances on goal. Our new Brazilian striker, believe it or not, he's had 2 clear chances hit the bar. So, no, really, really pleased with how it's been going, for sure.
He looks good so far, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Thank you.
No worries.
So that's half-time here at Farnborough. 0-0 so far, but a very touch-and-go game. Very even as well. We'll see how it goes as the game goes on.
Thank you, Barnaby. So that is Farnborough 0, Portchester 0 in the Hampshire Senior Semi-Cup final. Eastleigh, of course, going into the final last night. So the winner of this game will play Eastleigh. Jake, it's half-time in the Scottish Premier League. Dundee versus St Mirren, 0-0. Am I correct?
Yeah, well, I did say there was a goal coming, and I was quite clearly wrong. So a game chances have come at a premium, really. Only 2 real clear-cut chances for St Mirren, where Jones should have been able to lift it over the goalie to open the scoring. And then I'm not quite sure how Brophy didn't score. For Dundee, really, I think they registered 1 shot on target, and then had quite a few half chances that they fired over the crossbar. So they're not really looking like they're going to capitalise on this opportunity to get 3 points here against a St Mirren team who haven't won in 4 games. So anything can happen in the second half, but at the minute, it's not looking like it's going to be worth the £12.50.
Liam, you just threw your hands in the air.
I mean, it was a bit better from City. They got through. They actually managed to get into the box this time, amazingly. They got into the box. It was Sterling, Zinchenko down that left-hand side. They cut it back, and again, the Sporting defenders just clear it away. They're not messing about. They're doing the sort of championship style, just hoof it out. When in doubt, kick it out. That's what they're doing today. And I've just seen their fans. They are loving it. They are on their feet. Oh, Sterling's through. Oh, he's tried to chip it and the goalkeeper's just patted it away. Like I said, the Sporting fans are in that corner and they are on their feet. I'm not going to make any Etihad jokes, but it looks like they're in full voice. And yeah, Sterling should do better there. 1-on-1 with the goalkeeper and he chips it and just one big hand puts it away. No, nothing. Still 0-0.
And Joe, in the Papa John's semi-final, Hartley Paul versus Rotherham. Is it half-time yet?
It is half-time, yeah. Hartley Paul have had a really good game, actually, really exciting to watch. Been very impressed with them, especially Molyneux and Gray, both of them. Gray was in, actually, in the 49th minute, or 45 plus 4. He was in all on his own out on the left-hand side. And he, it just couldn't find him. 2-on-1.
There is a goal. We have a goal. Is it offside? Fraser Day.
I'm going to wait just a second, but I don't believe it is offside. And it's the same man, Kylian Mbappe. He scored the only goal in the last leg to put them 1-0 up. And he scored again here. Put through. I don't know where the PSG defence was, to be quite honest. It was one-on-one, really. They lost the ball here, Real Madrid. And it's Neymar that's picked the ball up and just a first-time sweeping pass into that left channel. And Mbappe, one-on-one with Alaba, slots it near post. Courtois does get a hand to it, but he doesn't stop it. Just too powerful. And maybe he is off to Madrid in the summer, but He's certainly playing for PSG at the moment as he puts them 1-0 up in this game and 2-0 in aggregate. PSG firmly on top in this game now.
As I said, Mbappe playing in the Bernabeu, something we could see him do in the summer, putting in a great performance, but we can just do the scores that we have so far once I can see them. There we go. So we have Real Madrid 0, PSG 0, but Kylian Mbappe just scored, so that is Real Madrid 0, PSG 1. PSG being 2-0 up on aggregate now. Manchester City 0, Sporting 0. Porto 0, Lyon 1, that finished in the Europa League tie. Real Betis 1, Eintracht Frankfurt 2. So Frankfurt and Lyon progress into the next round of the Europa League. Hartley Paul 1, Rotherham 0. Dundee United, it's not Dundee United, Dundee, sorry, 0, St Mirren 0. Bracknell Town 1, Guernsey 0. Thank you, Saj, for keeping us updated with that. And it's Farnborough 0, Afc Portchester 0, and Forley 0, Whitechurch, you guessed it, 0. 0-0s nearly everywhere apart from a couple games, but we can go to Ollie Power, who's at half-time in the Wessex one. Ollie, what's going on?
Yeah, thanks, Lewis. 0-0 half-time here. Pretty bog-standard half. But to be fair, I don't know how it's not 1-0 to the away side. They've had a stranglehold on the game, and fullbacks Routledge and Lowe have just been whipping the balls in all half. Forley have dealt with it well so far, but striker Nathan Lynch, ex-Forley man, has been causing, I'd say, most havoc up front. He's been shrugging off defenders, winning free kicks. But yeah, still 0-0 somehow.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Ollie. Newsroom again. Adam Oliver, is it you again with the cricket? It's Nima.
Yeah.
Nima with Man United. Nima, what can you tell us? Thank God it's not the cricket.
Yeah, thankfully it's not the cricket. It's still 2-0 at Old Trafford. Man United still winning against Wolves here. With 10 minutes to go. I mean, it's still been, ever since the second goal's gone in really, the game's sort of ebbed and flowed along really. Man United have had a couple half chances. Garnacho has still been on fire. I mean, the guys can tell he's going to definitely be one for the club and country. That's definitely for sure. I mean, but fair play to Wolves. They're still making a go of it. They're still putting bodies in the box. The corner's just come in here, and he's headed it straight over the bar. So, but yeah, 2-0 in the semi-final. Man United cruising through in a minute. 10 minutes to go.
Thank you very much, Nima. In the Champions League games, what's going on, Liam? Not long till half-time. I'm going to guess nothing.
Bro, nothing from Man City again. It's Sporting have actually had the ball in the last 5 minutes for a long time. I've got nothing else to say. I'd go to Fraser. It sounds like a better game over there. Fraser,
no more noises, but there has been some feet tapping, a little bit of facial expressions.
Yeah,
what's going on?
No, there's some good football being played, to be honest, by PSG. PSG have really taken a hold of this game now. Look pretty comfortable, pretty dominant, actually. I thought the start Real Madrid made, I thought they might get an early goal, but their pressure seems to have been for no reward. And Messi, Neymar and Mbappe, as you might think, linking up really well. It's quite a feisty affair, actually, as well. There's been a couple of bookings as well. Nacho, who probably should have just been booked at the other end, has now definitely been booked for that challenge, bringing down Hakimi, cynical. But yeah, I think there could potentially be a red card in this game later on if it stays the way it is, because there's quite a few players on bookings.
Thank you, Fraser. It seems like the tables have turned since the start. And although we avoided cricket a minute ago, we now have a golf story. Tiger Woods beat fellow countryman Phil Mickelson to win the inaugural PGA Tour's Player Impact Programme. The award is not one given out for winning a tournament, but rather awarded to the player with the most popularity. The 82-time PGA Tour winner brought home an £8 million paid cheque, with Mickelson taking home a respectable $6 million second-place prize. The PIP was calculated using metrics tracking 5 criteria: internet searches, news articles, mentioning a player's name, social media, TV sponsor exposure, and awareness, so quite a lot there. A $40 million pool was distributed among the top 10 finishers. Woods finished first in internet searches, awareness, and earned media. Liam, Champions League, Man City, they want to win it. They're 5-0 up on aggregate, but is the game still 0-0?
Well, I was just listening to you there, mate. I should be getting into golf. 8 million. 8 million, bloody hell.
8 million to swing a club
Mental.
backwards.
No, nothing really. I think they're just going to get till half-time. I mean, Pep might get him into the dressing room and maybe tell him to get a few more goals. But I think, honestly, This is what I was worrying about at the start of the game. I think they're just going to go in cruise control and relax until the weekend because there's no sign of anything here. I really am being honest. I mean, Sporting here might be through. No, they've only got 2 players in the Man City half. They're not coming out.
So Sporting look like they're not going to get a goal, but Fraser, again, the noises are coming out from there. Joe even joined you in that one.
Yeah.
Another chance.
Well, it's half time in Joe's game, so I see he's eagle-eyeing on my game now as well. But yeah, no, again, just really good PSG link-up play. Messi, Neymar and Mbappe, they're just pinging it about off each other, playing some really, really good triangles, really good football. Modric has got on the ball a bit for Real Madrid, to be fair, and he's just pinged one out to Vinicius Jr. on the left-hand side, who, don't know if that's a foul, but he has got Hakimi on strings when he takes him on down there. But yeah, no, all PSG, and I think there could be a second goal before half-time, depending on how we get on.
Thank you very much, Fraser. It's our favourite time of the night again. Adam Oliver in the newsroom updating us on the cricket. Adam, what's going on?
Good news, good news. Players about to get underway in 5 minutes for all you cricket fans. I know there's not many on that panel, but yeah, it's going to be good. I've just seen Johnny Bairstow lifting up Mark Wood and look as if he's about to chokehold him. So yeah, it looks as if play is going to get underway. There was a lot of standing water though, because as you know, in the Caribbean, when it rains, it pours. And yeah, they had to get the super soaker on. They had to get the rope to clear as much water as possible. And yeah, so should be back underway very shortly.
Thank you, Adam. It's nearly half-time in our Champions League games tonight. And last night, we saw Liverpool go through, although they lost to Inter Milan, and also Bayern Munich go through. And reflecting on last night's games, we are now joined by our Champions League expert, Kyle Pogue-Elms. Kyle, thank you so much for coming in. How are you?
That's my pleasure. I'm very well, thank you.
So obviously Bayern Munich going through last night. It was 1-1 on aggregate before we got into that one, but they battered Salzburg 7-1. What can you tell us about that game?
Yeah, well, 7-1, it was just an outstanding result for Bayern Munich. They needed to up their game after a first leg that ended 1-1. A bit of shaky start for them. Salzburg looked like they were there for an upset, but Robert Lewandowski scoring that hat-trick in under 22 minutes is just ridiculous. It means that he's now scored 40-plus goals in 7 consecutive seasons, which if you think about it, it's outstanding. It's up there with Lionel Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo standards, which is just which is unreal. I mean, Salzburg, it's disappointing for them because they had such a promising start in the first leg, getting that draw. They missed the opportunities to win it in the first leg, but they just leaked 2 easy goals in the second leg. They looked fragile at the back. They didn't look ready, but that's no hit on them. They are a good young promising side, and I'm sure that they'll be there again next year.
Apologies for any audio that might have messed up there. Nothing on Kyle's behalf. But Kyle, Liverpool also faced Inter Milan, where Inter Milan won 1-0. But a great encounter, some great football played, some good moments. What can you tell us about that game?
Yeah, well, Liverpool went to the San Siro in the first leg and had a good, stern performance to get that 2-0 result, which saw them looking to keep Inter Milan at bay in the second leg. Inter Milan came to Anfield they looked confident. I know you were covering the game last night. They looked like they were there to win, and they did get the win, but unfortunately it wasn't enough. I mean, Lautaro Martinez, his goal was outstanding. It was a brilliant finish, but shortly after that, Alexis Sanchez picking up the red card, I think it just killed the game for them, and Liverpool went on to get into the quarter-final.
And now, obviously, both teams in the quarter-final. From that, PSG 1-0 up. Man City seems like they're cruising. But who do you think will win the competition overall?
Well, Bayern Munich's performance last night was brilliant. I thought it's been rumoured that a lot of experts have been saying that the Champions League will go to an English side this year, but Bayern Munich are certainly ones to watch. I mean, Real Madrid and PSG are playing right now. They could also be in contention, but in my opinion, I think it will go towards an English side. I think the Premier League's just too strong at the moment. Manchester City, I think it might be there, yeah.
Thank you very much, Carl. Whilst you were talking, there has been a goal, and Nima, who's reporting on the Manchester United Youth Cup game. Nima, what's going on?
Yeah, it was perfect timing, really. 90th minute, Man United on the counter-attack, and Charlie McNeil's grabbed the goal, 3-0 up. I mean, I think that's game, set and match really at Old Trafford.
Know where to look then.
And yeah, they're through to the final now, and they're just making a couple subs to get some fresh legs on, but they don't really need to. I mean, the game's set and done. So yeah, I mean, that's Man United done and dusted. Charlie McNeil there on the score sheet to make it 3-0 with an easy rebound after the keeper actually made a half-decent save, but unfortunately it's just tapped right in front of Charlie McNeil, and he's tapped it in from 5 yards. So yeah, 3-0 to Man United. Isaac Hansen just coming off, who got the assist in the first half for the first goal. But yeah, 3-0 at Old Trafford, Man United through to the FA Youth Cup final, it looks like at the minute.
Thank you very much, Nima. We can now go live to Bracknell versus Guernsey, where Saj is either going to tell us when the next Apple product is coming out, or has there been a chance? Saj Rahman.
I believe, Louis, I'm informed by my Apple colleagues that there was a new iPhone that came out just yesterday. So if you'd like to go buy it, I'm not endorsing it at all. But the game has kicked off here again, and there's a massive chance for Temi Aweka of Bracknell. It was a dangerous free kick. It could have been a penalty on the far side, literally opposite me in this box just behind me. Their player, Shamar Moore, went down on the edge of a box, and he fell into the box. And I thought the referee initially had given a penalty, but instead he was pointed just to the edge of a box. The ball was then whipped in, and Temi Aweka rose highest and headed downwards, but Lucas Hanley did really well to save low down and has kept Guernsey still in this at the moment. Much of the pattern is still the same from the first half. Guernsey are down the other end, but most of the action has been down behind me now, where the goal that Bracknell are attacking at the moment. And yeah, Guernsey are really going to need to try something different potentially to get in against this defence, because they are very, very strong and they're struggling. Their team isn't as strong as it has been in recent weeks. As Keane Domar goes in behind, Keane Domar's got the ball. He could score here. It's cleared off the line. It's cleared off the line. The youngster Keane Domar, 17 years old, with a huge chance. The ball ricocheted off the goalkeeper, and he's gone round the goalkeeper and tried to just squirm it in from a tight angle, but the defender got back to clear off the line there. Ross Allen now with it has gone out for a corner. Very, very nearly a goal there for Guernsey. An equalising goal against the run of play it would have been. Keane Domar played in the Junior Moretti on Sunday for Guernsey. Guernsey versus Jersey, the Channel Islands, that famous rivalry between Jersey and Guernsey. He played 120 minutes on Sunday, and he's out here again. He was forced on due to an injury to Carl Smith. Exactly, as Falaise, in fact, almost nearly heads in from a resulting corner there. Falaise gets in front of a goalkeeper who tried to claim it and almost headed it in at the near post. Has just gone wide. Guernsey's biggest threat is coming from these set pieces. They've got the towering figures of Jacob Falaise and Tom Jackson in the box, as the ball will be whipped in again by Ross Allen, I believe. No, it's Kes Mahon that has gone over there now. Guernsey are renowned for their short set pieces, but it's gone in, and this time round, Ecott does collect. So, and he looks to set off a quick counter, but it's cleared there by Ben Latok. Seb Bauman coming forward now, however, is fouled, and it's a free kick here in a dangerous position. But as I was saying, Guernsey really need to try something different, because every time Bracknell come forward, they look like they're going to score. And you might want to stay with me for this free kick due to the talent on display here from the leaders. However, I think there could be a short break, as it looks like there's going to be a call, so you could cut away from me if you wanted for a split second.
Saj Rahman there, who absolutely loves a chat, as we know. But we can now go live to Ben. After his cup victory earlier today, Solent first-team goalkeeper Ben Hayward tastes silverware for the first time as a Solent player. We can join Ben live now. Ben, I was expecting you to be in a bunny outfit. Where is it?
It's a little bit make do at the moment. We've literally just got back. I've managed to grab some cuffs and some other bits, but I don't have any ears at the moment, unfortunately. So yeah, it's a little bit make do. but that's the thing tonight: Playboy Bunnies and Hugh Hefner. So I am qualifying as a Playboy Bunny, so I'm going to try and make do. I'm going to try and scour a pair of bunny ears somewhere.
Ben, being man of the match tonight, making some great saves, as we know. How was the game for you personally?
Really good, yeah. It's probably one of the better games of my season. Probably one of the best games I've played in. Yeah, like I don't want to toot my horn too much, but yeah, I pulled off about 5 or 6 really good saves. But no, they were a really good outfit actually. Uni of South Wales tested us in periods, and fortunately I was there to just help the team, and yeah, buzzing to just contribute again.
Great cup run, as we know. You know, you're unbeaten in the league and unbeaten in the cup. An unbeaten season, absolutely phenomenal from Solent first. Were you expecting a bit more of a challenge in the final?
To be honest with you, the scoreline, obviously it's very convincing, but they were a good side. I think we caught them out on the break a few times. And to be honest, we just, through individual quality, that's why we made the breakthrough. You know, Kieran O'Donnell with the opener is a bit of a scuffed finish, but it was brilliant. It was brilliantly taken, and then JP scored an absolute worldie. But no, it was nice for me, because it's always nice as a goalkeeper to make a save and then you know, for the team to go and score the opposite end. So yeah, buzzing with it.
Brilliant. Before I go, Ben, that room looks familiar, mate. Any reason why you're there?
Extremely make do, Louis. Please leave me alone.
Congratulations once again, Ben, on your double. Well done, mate. We're going to go to our Europa League roundup now. Real Betis, Porto, Frankfurt and Lyon were all in action in the Europa League earlier today. And Peter Off the Hyde is with us, and he is here to reflect on the 2 games. Peter, what can you tell us?
Well, I mean, I think in both cases, well, the away side won, which is quite surprising in both games. Eintracht Frankfurt, who aren't having the best season in the Bundesliga, getting away with in Spain with Real Betis, very good result, 2-1. They missed a penalty, could have gone, probably should have gone. They had a lot of chances. Lyon, Porto scored an equaliser in the dying seconds, but it wasn't given. So they'll be quite disappointed against Lyon to stay at home with a 1-0 defeat. I think the competition has got a lot to do about who wants it more. You know, Sevilla, for instance, know they're going to be playing Champions League next season. Frankfurt don't. Porto Champions League, Lyon not. You know, and I think that makes a difference. And
tomorrow, of course, you've got West Ham versus Sevilla. And Barcelona versus Galatasaray. Are these games that fans can look forward to? Yes,
because I already, like, for instance, I was highlighting, you know, Sevilla playing at West Ham. Sevilla is going to be in the Champions League, West Ham not. So I think that makes it a little bit easier for West Ham probably, because they want to. For them to play in the Champions League, it's a lot of money. It's 30-40 million pounds. You know, to play Europa League, there's nowhere that kind of money.
Fraser giving you some dirty looks there as you speak about his beloved West Ham not getting into the Champions League. But Peter, thank you very much for that input. We can now go back live to the newsroom with Adam Oliver again with the cricket.
I'll just start by saying I think West Ham could get in the Champions League, Peter. But yeah, so the cricket's back underway, and no runs scored yet, actually. The light is fading, so England have had to bring on Joe Root to bowl some spin, because as the light starts to fade, you're now not allowed to bowl the quick bowlers, otherwise you come off the field anyway. So England are just trying to get to the end of the day, see if they can pick up a cheap wicket or 2 before close. Just as you say that, West Indies have hit a boundary. The runs are still flowing for the West Indies, and I fear for England come tomorrow. They may get the new ball tomorrow, which you'd be hoping James Anderson and Stuart Broad would be keen to take the ball, but obviously they're not there, which is raising some eyebrows within the media. So yeah, but Joe Root's bowling now. Not really a frontline bowler, but he can bowl a bit.
Thank you very much, Adam. We love coming to you for the cricket, mate. But there has been a goal. Joe Hayhurst, what's going on?
Rotherham have equalised through Michael Smith with his 23rd goal of the season. He's their top scorer and assister this season, actually. It was a foul on the edge of the box, won by Bowler there, just crossed in. He towers above everyone. He's stronger, he's more powerful, and he's just headed it in. There's also been some subs. There's a flare on the pitch at the moment, smoke bomb. It's quite interesting. But there's also been some subs to tell you about as well. So Chris Wood has come off for Hique at centre-back. He was already on a yellow card, and honestly, it didn't look like he was turning up for a game of football. He looked like he was turning up for a fight. He should be quite embarrassed with his performance. And Odafine is off for Rathbone as well for Rotherham. It looks like the subs have made a difference. Bowler as well, being quality, running down that left.
Thank you very much. No, who shouldn't be embarrassed with their performance? Barnaby Page, as we go to him live now at Farnborough versus Portchester. Barnaby, please tell me there's been a goal.
Not yet, Louis. Not yet. We're getting closer and closer. It just hit starting the second half, about 5-10 minutes in. Farnborough really starting to pick up the pressure now. They've hit the post themselves. Their substitute has come on called Michael Parker. He's just hit the post. It's getting close, Louis. I hope it's getting close, but I'm pretty sure it is.
Thank you very much, Barnaby Page there, reporting live from a shed. Liam Jones, your Champions League game, is it about to kick off again?
And we've just had a couple of subs as well. I was just thinking that if Pep Guardiola is going to really sort of let Sporting have a lot of the, let Man City have a lot of the ball, why not bring on some of the young players he's got on the bench? And that's just what he's done. He's brought on McAtee off the bench. I think he's about 18, 19 years old. First appearance for Manchester City. Bernardo Silva's gone off and Riyad Mahrez has also come on. So maybe they're going to try and get a few goals. But I expect in the next 45 minutes to see some of these young names, and I'll let you know when that happens.
And Jake, you've been sat there silently next to him. It's been a while since we spoke to you, buddy, but what's going on?
Yeah, it was a great opportunity for Dundee really early in the second half. The ball was whipped into the back post, just beyond the head of McDade. It was cleared, the cross was just under the crossbar. So it was somehow miraculously cleared by a combination of Tate and Shaughnessy, and an opportunity there for Dundee again, and it was claimed by the goalkeeper. So Dundee are really on top here, looking to push to get this go-ahead goal. And at the minute, it's looking like St Mirren, who are unbeaten in the previous 4 trips to Dens Park, looking like that record could be under threat.
Shaping up to be an okay game for you in the end there, Jake. Ollie Power back again. What can you tell us, Ollie?
Yeah, still no goals, but it's just heated up behind me with 3 separate players sliding in at once, causing a bit of conflict and a bit of a scrap between both sides. I think it was striker Edmondson again, but yeah. I went for a half-time cuppa expecting a much better half. It's not really provided that so far, but there was a superb chance from, I think it was James Elevin on the left, who cut in, hit the bar. Great chance for Fawley. Again, a couple minutes ago, Fawley's Dylan Knight was slotted through, just wide after a superb tackle as well. But yeah, generally, still a bit of a bog-standard non-league game.
Classic non-league football there with you, Ollie. Your earphones look in great shape, mate. Maybe you could go and speak to Saj to get hold of some AirPods. He is the CEO of Apple, after all. Fraser, with PSG beating Real Madrid at the moment, we see Pochettino is in charge of PSG, but do you think he'll be there again this season?
Well, I mean, we all know he's been linked to Man United. That's no secret. But there's other names being linked to Man United as well, with Erik ten Hag and stuff like that. So I don't think it's definitive that he'll be here there at the end of the season, but his contract runs till 2023. So I expect him maybe to stay through the summer, have one more season, and then maybe he'll go to Man United. It depends how hard they push for him. This game's just about to kick off now, so I'll let you know if there's been any changes. But yeah, I think for now, Pochettino stays at PSG.
Memorably, Pochettino, of course, going into the final with Tottenham back in 2019. Correct me if I'm wrong. Do you think after PSG's performance today, we could see another final for him?
I mean, PSG have made Real Madrid. They've weathered the storm.
Oh, it's in. What goal?
I think there's been a goal.
We're going to have to cut the Mauricio Pochettino because we've got 3. Like Fraser said yesterday, it's like buses. You wait for one and then they all come at once. We're going to start with a goal, I do believe. Liam Jones.
Yeah, Gabriel Jesus. It sort of drops in the box. It's Mahrez. I mean, 1 minute into his introduction, he's already making things happen. He's a quality player, Mahrez. He comes on, he cuts in, he weaves his way into the box, he gets tackled, but the ball just drops to Jesus on this left wing, and he just tucks it past the goalkeeper at the near post. It's a great finish. Mahrez brought on to do what Pep wanted him to do. Just get goals. Make goals happen.
So 1-0 Man City, and that tie, Joe Hayhurst, I do believe there's another goal from you.
The League Two side are back ahead. It's phenomenal play from Hartley Paul as they get the ball across the pitch to that man Molyneux. He's been superb today. It's almost cleared off the line by McDonald, but he doesn't get there in the end. But yeah, it's a brilliant goal. Really well worked as well. The way he sets himself as well, he's got so much time and he uses that time perfectly. Brilliant goal from Molyneux.
So Hartley Paul currently 2-1 up. They're 12th in League Two, 2-1 up against Rotherham, who are top of League One. causing an upset so far in the Papa John's semi-final. But, Jake, was there a chance?
Again for St Mirren, they should have scored at least 3 goals in this game. A ball came into, ball dropped to Brophy in the area. And he had a first shot that was brilliantly blocked by Rossi, and then a second shot that was also phenomenally blocked by Rossi. But the ball fell to Jones at the back post, and he opted to take it on the volley despite having loads of time, and he smashed it for a conversion, nearly out of the stadium. But there's been a couple of substitutions. McCohen's gone off, and I really expected him to have a bigger impact for Dundee today, but he just couldn't really get going, couldn't really find his feet in this game. It might have been because of the COVID he had prior to the game. And also McDade has gone off. He didn't really do a lot either. And Byrne, and on loan man from Partick St Thistle, Rudden, has come on to see if they get the goals.
Liam, was the goal a given?
No, it wasn't. It was a hair offside. It was one of them where the shoulder's sort of in front of the line. And they didn't give it. I mean, it's not going to matter in the grand scheme of things, but it's a bit mad at this point for City fans in attendance, I think. But yeah, just a hair offside.
So Man City, we thought they went 1-0 up, but it is in fact 0-0 still. Saj Rahman over in Bracknell. Is he going to talk some more? Let's find out. Saj Rahman, what have you got for us?
Louis, Guernsey are very nearly got the equaliser there. It was brilliant interplay from Charlton Govine and Tom Jackson down the left-hand side. And the cross-come shot from Tom Jackson almost looped in at the back post. There's some acrobatics from Daniel Bayliss to do an overhead clearance off the line. Otherwise, it could have been Guernsey 1, Bracknell 1. However, it has been all Guernsey in this second half. Bracknell is struggling to get the same joy going forward. As I say that, they are coming forward right now, but Dave Rioy, the winger, playing as a fullback today due to the lack of armoury in the Guernsey side today. However, if it on any other given day, Guernsey could have been 2-1 up in this second half. They're very much a second half team, as they were impressive. As the ball almost comes and hits me here, landed on top of the stand. But yeah, they have been very impressive, I must say, in this second half, and they are a very good second half team. So who knows, they might cause an upset here.
Thank you very much, Saj. Nima, live in the newsroom again. I do believe it is full time in your game. What's going on?
Yeah, cheers, Louis. It's finished 3-0 to Manchester United. They are now in the final of the FA Youth Cup after a dominant performance at Old Trafford. I mean, from minute 1, United turned up, and you could tell they were on job today, and they didn't want to take any prisoners. And Garnacho, I've said his name quite a lot tonight, but he was outstanding tonight. I mean, you could obviously see that he has definitely got a bright future ahead of him. And Charlie McNeil as well, the striker for the under-18 side, he's grabbed 2 tonight, 1 in the first half, then 1 right at the end in the stoppage time for Man United to make it 3-0. But yeah, it's certainly good signs for the future of the Man United Academy, that's for sure. And we'll have to wait and see who they get in the final. It's either between Nottingham Forest or Chelsea in the other semi-final. So that will take place in end of this month, 26th of March. And so Man United will have to wait and see who they play in the final against them as well.
Nima, I thought you were a Man United fan, mate. You should sound more excited after that 3-0 win. But for you, was there a standout player tonight that you think could progress into the first team?
Yeah, I mean, without a doubt, it's got to be Garnacho. I mean, he is definitely Man United's academy, I would say, on par with another great Man United academy player, Hannibal Mejri. I mean, from what I've seen tonight and a couple other games I've seen, he is definitely, if Ralph Rangnick, who I think was at the stadium tonight, he is definitely got to be pushing for the first team, without a doubt.
Thank you very much, Nima. Top work tonight, mate. Well done. Joe Hayhurst has just made a brilliant facial expression and also flicked his hand in excitement. Joe, has there been a goal? Has there been a chance? What's happening?
Basically, it's a chance for Rotherham. It hasn't gone in, but Barley's has got the ball on the edge of the box. It's bouncing. He's volleyed it, absolutely launched it about 30 yards out. I think it's clipped the bar. Unreal. It's a corner, actually, but unreal. No, it's not. It did hit the bar, I will confirm that. But yeah, unreal shot, great technique. It's just unlucky to go over.
So that game remains 2-1 to Hartley Paul. Jake Clements next to you as well with a lovely facial expression. Jake,
how St Mirren haven't scored in this game is beyond me. There's another great opportunity for that man, Brophy in the middle. It didn't quite reach him though. A pot shot from Jones from outside the area. He took a volley, a very audacious attempt really. It just smacked his own man straight in the face. But then the ball ricocheted about a bit and it ended up in the area. And it looked like it struck a hand of one of the Dundee players, but ref didn't see anything, so no penalty given. Still 0-0 here with about 23 minutes to go.
Still 0-0 and St Mirren pushing for a goal against bottomless side Dundee. Any updates in the Champions League game, fellas?
You know, James John McAtee came on, the 19-year-old, and he's done more in 5 minutes than Phil Foden did in 45, which is a surprising thing. You know, Phil Foden, I think I have him up there as one of the best young players in the world, but this young McAtee, he's come on, he's played really well. I've not really heard of him before. I think he's made a couple of appearances for City before, but I think this is his Champions League debut, so, you know, why not make a step? You got the spotlight, now run with it, kid, like.
Absolutely. And Fraser, anything going on in yours?
Well, quite interestingly, actually, so Tony Cruz has just taken a corner from the left-hand side, and he sprayed it right out to about 20, 30 yards out, sort of edge of the area kind of way, and it's been hit on the volley first time, and Marquinhos has stood there, it smacked him straight in the face, so he's gone down with a head injury. He's just got back up now. But there's another goal. He keeps interrupting me every time.
Joe Hayward, the man who interrupts Fraser Day constantly. Joe, what's going on?
I do apologise, Fraser, but Smith's made it 2-2. It's his second goal of the game. He's the man you expect. What a player he is. What a season he's had for Rotherham. It's absolutely insane. This game is end-to-end as well. And we've got Bowler with another cross that's gone in. Just phenomenal work from those two again. Yeah, header in. 26th goal of the season.
So that is League One leaders Rotherham equalising against Hartley Paul, who sit 12th in League Two. Ollie Power, talking of poo, your game, how good is it?
Yeah, spicing up a little bit now, finally. Fully getting back into this, as you can see just behind me. Whipping a few balls into the box. They've just had a corner. And it was Nathan Elkins, again, down the left, who hit the bar earlier, plucked it out of the sky. Great first touch. Flicked it out in front of him, had a shot, great save from the keeper. But yeah, they say non-league's violent and the most physical. They say that this level's the most physical, and trust me, it has been tonight. A few big challenges, even a war with words just behind me a minute ago with striker Mark Lilly, who actually had to go off after he was bodied to the floor from the Whitechurch player after they were swearing at each other a little bit and stuff. But yeah, really aggressive now. The game's got a bit of fire in it. Much better.
Thank you very much, Ollie. Seems like quite a stalemate there in non-league. To spice the game up, you could just try and touch the linesman's bald head. It's up to you, though. Could spice the game up a little bit for you, buddy. But Fraser, was there a goal? Was it offside? What's happened?
Well, the ball was in the back of the net. Same combo again. Neymar to Kylian Mbappe. Mbappe makes Courtois look absolutely silly with a faint step over. Courtois goes to ground, and then he slots it into an open net. But the goal was ruled out for offside. Correct decision, definitely offside. And it started kind of the way it did in the first half. Real Madrid had been very much on top, and PSG slowly growing into the game now, about 10 minutes in.
Mbappe there showing why he is in the next Ballon d'Or debate. I would carry on that conversation, but we've got a cricket update. Adam Oliver, cricket, what can you tell us?
Yeah, well, actually, it started to spice up a bit. The West Indies have actually started letting loose a bit. Spicy. There's been a good 3 or 4 boundaries since you last came to me. And yeah, it's really starting to fire up now. Jason Holder, with his long levers at 6'7", he's started letting loose. He's hit a good few boundaries. Craig Overton's getting some serious tap at the moment. He's struggling to find his line and length. Yeah, but it's actually starting to get a bit exciting now at the cricket.
I'll tell you what, Adam, judging by everyone's face here and mine, you can really tell we think it's spicing up too, mate. Amazing stuff. So, as I was going to say, Kylian Mbappe... In on goal. Oh, brought down. I don't know if it was Kylian Mbappe in goal, but I was just going to ask Fraser, what's going on?
Well, Kylian Mbappe, he could have already had a hat-trick tonight. He's had 2 goals ruled out for offside, but he's just gone through again there. Neymar, again, looping the ball in behind the centre-back. Mbappe, though, I thought he might have been brought down, but it's looking like a great challenge, actually. And it's in the box now for PSG. and they've scrambled it away. It's end to end. The ball's just been put out now. I think there might be an injury. Yeah, Mbappe is down. He's holding his head, but I'm not quite sure what's wrong with him. Come back to me on that one.
Jake, you've thrown your hands up in the air. What's going on over at your end?
Well, it's St Mirren again, and they should have scored again. I think the ball did actually originally go out just before the opportunity actually arose. But Jones at the back post, the ball was played back across by Tate, who I thought did wonderfully to keep the ball in, but it did go behind. And Jones volleyed it about 4 yards out, wide of the goal, off the stanchion behind the goal. Really should be at least 4-0 St Mirren in this game. I'm not quite sure how this game is 0-0.
St Mirren really pushing for a goal here against Dundee. Coming back to your game, Fraser, Neymar Jr. has recently stated in an interview that he potentially sees the 2022 World Cup as his last. The €222 million PSG superstar has yet to achieve any success at previous World Cups, and rumours suggest he may not be Brazil's main man for much longer. Real Madrid forward Vinicius Jr. was as surprised as everyone else when he discovered the news. However, after a breakthrough season with the Spanish Giants, scoring 13 goals and providing 6 assists, the 21-year-old could steal the headlines for Brazil in Qatar at this year's World Cup. We kind of discussed about this previously, but Vinicius Jr., how good has he been?
He's been unbelievable tonight, to be fair. I mean, his opponent, Hakimi, we know he's great going forward, but I'm not sure how good he is defensively. I think he probably would prefer to play more as a wing-back in maybe a back three or a back five. But nonetheless, you can only play what's in front of you, and he's been great tonight. He's had Hakimi on ropes. He's step-overs, flicks, passes, and a couple of shots as well. There has just been 2 substitutions for Real Madrid. They've brought on Rodrigo and Eduardo Camavinga, going off Toni Kroos and Marco Asensio. So that's another young Brazilian, Rodrigo, that's been brought on, and they've got a chance here to equalise, and it's cleared away.
And watching the game, can you see the comparisons that people are making between Vinicius Jr. and Neymar? Maybe the bit of Brazilian flair that we all see in Neymar that we all love to watch. Yeah,
so I think obviously with most Brazilian players, they're known for their flair, their trickery, and I can definitely see similarities. I'm not quite sure if he's got Neymar's end product yet.
I'm going to have to interrupt you here because Saj Rahman, is a MacBook has been released, or is it a goal, Saj?
It's a goal. Bracknell finally have doubled their advantage. Daniel Bayliss rising highest at the back post to head in. It was a lovely header back where it came from, at the back post. It looped over Lucas Hanley here, as you can see, just over my shoulder. And Bracknell have their deserved 2-goal lead. And it looks to seal all 3 points as they move 4 points away from the title. The runaway leaders finally getting their goal that their play deserves. Although Guernsey have been the side with the better chances in this half. Just a corner, their first attack in quite a while for Bracknell, but they've been clinical. It's what the champions always do in any league, and they will be champions. It's just a matter of time. So, yeah, it's 2-0 here at the SB Stadium with 15 minutes left, and Guernsey's heads will have visibly dropped now as they seem to have accepted the defeat. So, 15 minutes left, 2-0 Bracknell.
Thank you very much, Saj. The man behind you keeps looking at you, mate. You might want to grab an interview of him after the game. You never know what his opinions could be. Fraser, yellow card, I do believe.
Yeah, yellow card for Danny Carvajal. I mean, it's Mbappe and Neymar again. Neymar's played it into Mbappe. Mbappe's knocked it past 2 or 3 Real Madrid players, knocked it past Camavinga, is definitely going past Carvajal, and Carvajal has just shoulder barged him right in the ribs and sent Mbappe flying off into the advertising board. So yeah, there's multiple players, especially for Real Madrid, on bookings now, so that's one to watch. I think they're struggling with their makeshift back line. Normally they'd have Ferland Mendy down that left-hand side. Nacho and Alaba seem to be interchanging as sort of a left-back, but neither of them really want to go forward, so I think they're struggling with that.
And there has been a goal at Ollie Power's game in the Wessex 1. Ollie, what can you tell us?
A goal, and it was Whitchurch up the other end. It was that absolute poacher, like prime Sergio Aguero, Nathan Lynch. He's played well all game, and there's a free kick behind me just now, actually, for the home side. Easy save. But yeah, Lynch, great strike after keeper was left on the floor, actually, from an Edmondson volley. And yet he just tapped it into the open net. And it was just as Fawley were getting back into this game. It had become much more of a contest. They had a few chances. I think Ben Bolton had a volley himself, which was a great save out of the keeper. But yeah, 1-0, and the way this game's gone, not many goals. I don't think there's going to be many more, so that could be the winner.
That is 1-0 to Whitchurch. And whilst we were speaking to Ollie Power, Fraser, there was a goal in your game.
Yes, at last. I've not been interrupted on the interruption. It's Donnarumma with the mistake. I don't know what PSG are doing. The ball's played back to him, and he's trying to open his body out and play it across the face of the goal. Sunday League, you get told, never play across the goal, and that's what he's done. Benzema applying the pressure, and he's just passed it straight across the goal. Vinicius Junior, we were just speaking about him, picks the ball up, and it's just a simple pass back to Karim Benzema on the edge of the box, who tucks it away from 6 yards. 1-1.
Well, we had Ollie talking about prime Sergio Aguero and Sunday League. I've seen you in that shirt on a Sunday, mate. Brilliant. So, Joe, any updates in your game in the semi-finals of the Papa John's Trophy?
Yeah, about 5 minutes ago, Hartley Paul should have scored. They should be 3-2 up. Still currently 2-2 with 20 minutes to go. We had a shot from Bogle, who... Hang on. Oh, no, he's missed it. We had a shot from Bogle, open goal, after the keeper makes a save for the original Gray shot. Comes out to Bogle, open goal, somehow heads it wide. Unbelievable. Yeah, it should be 3-2. Rotherham have just had a chance there to make it 3-2 to them. Do you know what? I'm kind of hoping it goes to penalties.
And as you were speaking, Joe, there has been a goal. Barnaby Page reporting in a shed. Barnaby, what can you tell us?
Well, I'm live here at the shed, Ed Louis, and there's finally been a goal to Farnborough. 1-0, 75th minute. The number 16 has just come off the bench at half-time. Mitchell Parker, fantastic ball in, swiveled in around, Cruyff turn, bottom corner, and then minutes later they hit the bar. So Farnborough in control, definitely now. It's looking more and more likely as the minutes tick by. 1-0 Farnborough.
So that's 1-0 Farnborough there in the Hampshire Senior Cup final. The winner will play Eastleigh. Barnaby, do you think the facilities will be a bit nicer over at Eastleigh? Oh, never mind. I'll have to think of that myself. I reckon they will be. That looks a bit rough, that. Jake, any updates in your game?
No, but Dundee have started to come out of their shell a bit in this game. They've had a few opportunities against St Mirren recently, but most of the second half's been all St Mirren. You can really see why Dundee are a team that have conceded 50 league goals this season. At times, they're absolutely all over the place at the back, and St Mirren are all over them. Jones, if Jones had his shooting boots on tonight, St Mirren could be out of sight.
And Liam, in your game, is it still 0-0?
Yeah, it is, mate. I'd love to talk to you more, but there's just not much happening. The only notable thing is really they've made a change. Sporting have made a change. They've brought on Marcus Edwards, a name a few Tottenham fans might know. I think he came through their academy, and he now plays in Portugal. He's come on, and he's sort of tearing Zinchenko a bit on that right side. He's got a lot of pace, fresh legs, but no, still nothing. Man City, when they get into their opponent's third, they just get tackled and it gets kicked out again. I'll let you know if anything happens.
Thank you very much. News broke today that Dane Kevin Magnussen will make a comeback to Formula One as the replacement for Nikita Mazepin at the US-based Haas team. The 29-year-old drove for Haas from 2017 to 2020 before the team decided to replace him and Roman Grosjean with Mazepin and Mick Schumacher. Mazepin was sacked on Sunday as a result of Russia's invasion of Ukraine. The initial decision to replace Magnussen did not influence his decision to return. He stated, "I was looking in a different direction regarding my commitments for 2022, but the opportunity to return to compete in F1 and with a team I know extremely well was simply too appealing." Adam, we go back to you for the cricket once again. What can you tell us?
Lads, I know a lot of you like T20 cricket, and right now the West Indies are batting like it's T20 cricket. They're really going after it. Holder's hit one of the biggest sixes I've ever seen off Jack Leach, and yeah, we're starting to see the West Indies really take advantage of what is a really flat pitch and an old ball. It's really starting to come off the bat nicely, and England have no answers to it. They're now allowed to bring on the pace bowlers as the light has come back a bit more sunlight, so they're back on now. They're not doing anything differently than Joe Root was, and he's a part-time spinner. So a lot of head scratching for England tonight when the close of play comes, which they've added some time due to the weather. So we may have another 45 minutes of this, Louis.
West Indies batting like a certain Chris Gale would be proud of by the sounds of it. Adam, Liam, whilst we were speaking to Adam there, was there a chance in your game?
There was a big chance for Man City. It's Fernandinho. He picks it up edge of the box. The Sporting players just stood around watching him, and he just plays one ball through. Mahrez is on it like a flash, and he can't get it across to Sterling. We talked earlier, that ball across the box, Sterling thrives on those. Mahrez gets through behind, cuts it across, and Coates, the ex-Liverpool centre-back, just clears it away for a corner, which nothing came of.
Sounds exciting in your game over there, Liam. Any updates from any of the other games that you can tell us about? Fraser, your game, you're making a couple of faces. What's going on?
There's been a substitution, a bit of a strange one actually. Lucas Vazquez coming on for Danny Carvajal. Danny Carvajal, a right back, Lucas Vazquez, normally a right winger. So Real Madrid really pushing for it now, definitely throwing men forward, and they're on the attack again here. It's PSG are making a mess of it. They've got really sloppy in possession, actually, over the last 10 or 15 minutes, and Real Madrid are taking full advantage. They've used their 3 subs now, Real Madrid, so it'll be interesting to see if PSG make any changes.
Thank you very much, Fraser. Jake, roughly 5 minutes to go in Dundee versus St Mirren. St Mirren really pushing for a goal for most of this game. Can you see anyone winning it?
Not in the current state of affairs. Dundee are just about to bring on Daley Campbell, who got an assist in the previous game. But there's not really a lot going on here, really. It's really being played in the centre of the park. But if anybody's going to get a goal in this game, it is going to be St Mirren. They've been the team that's been on top, and they've got the most attacking threat on the field.
Sounds great. I think St Mirren, personally, I think they might get a winner in the end. They sound like they're coming close every single time. And Joe, not long to go in your game either. Will it go to penalties? Winner plays Sutton in the final.
We've got 13 minutes left. We've had a few stoppages, to be fair. I just want to say these Hartley Paul players, Molyneux, Bogle and Gray, they've got to be playing at a high level. They're 3 players who are insane. Bogle earlier, about 5 minutes ago, he's flicked the ball over the top and gave Molyneux a one-on-one, but unfortunately the keeper was out quickly and he launched it over the bar. But yeah, it's been fantastic watching those 3 link up, really excited. And also, it looks as if Michael Smith is, going to get his hat-trick. This game has been end-to-end the whole game for Rotherham. Yeah, it's really exciting, really enjoyable to watch. I think it'll be top with penalties at the end.
Well, look out for those names. And another name you can look out for now is Ollie Power, who's going to report again at his Wessex 1 game. Ollie, what's going on in your game, mate?
Yeah, still no goal since 1-0, but Foley, it looks like it spruced them up, if anything, that goal. I thought it would have put them down and out. But no, if anything, they look even better now after that goal, I'd say. They had a few chances through Ben Bolton a minute ago. He hit the post again. And up the other end, I have to say, even though it was the away side, it was, I believe, Dave Shuttleworth. But I had to blink twice because I thought it might have been Zinedine Zidane. Plucked it out of the air and backheeled it into the path of the winger so elegantly, especially for a bigger bloke as well. But yeah, still 1-0. And I can definitely see an equaliser on the cards here for Foley.
Zinedine Zidane there playing non-league football at Forley in the Wessex 1. Whilst we were gone, before we were speaking about the F1 and another Russian sports star that has been kicked off a team because of Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Is this something that we're seeing more of, and do we think it's fair for the authorities to be kicking out these Russian sides?
I don't know. I don't know really what, say, Spartak Moscow or Nikita Mazepin have done. It's not like they're invading Ukraine, is it? I understand the gymnast who put that symbol up supporting the invasion, but I don't really understand what the Russian stars have done as the ball goes over the top there from Rotherham. I don't know. It doesn't sit right with me really, because there's a lot of people in Russia that also don't agree with the invasion. So yeah.
Well, allegedly Mazepin is going to start a campaign for Russian athletes and Russian teams to start competing in the competitions again, as he believes that there's no reason why they should be kicked out. Liam, do we think this is something that's going to be a success or a failure?
What, his organisation?
The campaign.
I mean, why not? I think it's not, I'll be honest, I don't think it's fair. Oh, massive shot there. Great shot from the right centre-back for Sporting. Yeah, I think why not? This isn't fair. This is discrimination. These people have not done anything wrong. They are not involved in the war. A lot of them are not advocating for it. So I don't see why they should lose their jobs over it. It's just like anything else. You wouldn't like it if you lost your job for something you didn't do.
And of course, Zinchenko starting for Man City
tonight,
being Ukrainian himself. Pep Guardiola said in an interview before this game that it's a tough time for him, but he does believe he's ready. Has he showed any signs of support to Ukraine, maybe before the game? Has he been applauded by the fans? What are the feelings there?
Yeah, they did obviously the knee and the clapping. I think they don't want to keep making it about Ukraine. They just want to, I think Zinchenko would just like to get on and play football. And I think the clapping and the knee is doing well for them. I've just seen a really strange substitution actually for Man City. I'm not sure what's happened. We've got Edison has come off and the 40-year-old Scott Carson has come on. Now, there hasn't been a sign of an injury. I don't know if this is just Pep Guardiola wants to give Carson a run out. I know they're friends, Edison and Carson, but there was no injury to Edison by the looks of it, unless it's something non-contact. So I'll see if anything pops up and anything is said. But as far as I know, Scott Carson is on for Man City. What a legend.
Maybe Pep Guardiola is hoping the game goes into penalties and Scott Carson can blaze one over the crossbar. Penalty specialist, that's why he's brought him on. Jake, going back to Ukraine versus Russia, we know the Klitschko brothers, the boxing heavyweight champions of the world at one point. They're on the front line. What do you think about that? Do you think more sports people should come out and show their support for it and the bravery that the Klitschko brothers are showing?
Yeah, I think you should see more sports stars coming out and appreciating what they're doing for their country. Obviously, one of the Klitschko brothers is the mayor of Kiev. So obviously, it's a great honour to be able to serve your country. But at the same time, like the Klitschko brothers doing what they do, being professional sports stars, well, they could be anywhere in the world. But being on the front line, it's an amazing thing that they're doing to help defend their country from such an awful thing.
Absolutely, and our thoughts are with everyone affected by this. Saj Rahman, we go live to you at Bracknell versus Guernsey. Got rid of the AirPods and seemed to have nicked Ollie Power's wired earphones. Being Steve Jobs yourself, what's going on with them?
I was about to say the same thing, Louis. It's a bit ironic how you've been likening me to Steve Jobs all night, and my AirPods have ran out of battery on this bitterly cold night here in Bracknell. But Bracknell are really pushing now to get a third goal. They've had a chance cleared off the line by Jacob Fallais moments ago, and it's been all Bracknell. Seb Bauman almost got his second goal of the game from a free kick. He went down low to the left-hand side of the goal, but Lucas Hanley got across well. The 17-year-old goalkeeper stopped it from being 3-0. He has been my man of the match for Guernsey today, he's kept out so many chances, and if it wasn't for him and Jacob Fallais, it could be 5 or 6 for Bracknell today. But there's moments left in this match, and Bracknell will move within one win of the title this Saturday when they play next.
Very much, Saj. We all feel terrible for you with your AirPods running out of battery, mate. Hope they get charged soon. Joe, there was a big save.
Yeah,
we'll get to you in a minute, Jake.
Huge save from Killip there. He's saved Hartley Paul there. He saved them. Great save, great shot, great move from Rotherham as well. As they've got another chance, it's all Rotherham here. Another good save from Killip. But yeah, it's all Rotherham. I think Hartley Paul are trying to play for penalties here.
Okay, lovely. And Jake sat next to Joe. There's been a goal. Jake,
no,
as soon as we go to Jake.
It's been ruled out. St Mirren thought they'd finally got the breakthrough, but Tate's header was ruled out for a push in the back on the defender. Just before that, Dundee nearly put the ball in their own net, really. Ball was played across, and it was a confusion between the goalie and I think it was Marshall at the back, and he sort of scuffed it just past his own post. But the goal's been ruled out here.
Still 0-0 in that game. St Mirren coming very close. But in even more exciting news, guys, West Indies have hit 200 runs. Runs. So well done to the West Indies. Fraser, any update in the PSG versus Real Madrid, the game that we're all hoping spices up just that little bit more?
Not really at the moment. PSG, as I said earlier, have got quite sloppy defensively. They're making a real hash of it, making it a lot harder for themselves than they need to. There was a substitution while you were at one of the other games, and it was Leandro Paredes came off and Idrissa Gana Gueye came on. PSG maybe looking just to shore up in that defensive midfield department to try and hold on to their lead. PSG do seem to be trying to take the sting out of the game now. They're not really going for it. Lionel Messi has dropped really, really deep, sometimes in his own half, to try and get on the ball. So yeah, Neymar and Mbappe still causing problems, but PSG really have sort of slowed it down, and Modric is doing a great job of breaking up the play.
Well, if PSG go through tonight, who knows? They could draw Man United in the next round if they win next week, and we could see Messi versus Ronaldo once again. But we can go live to the newsroom now. Adam Oliver with another cricket update.
Yeah, so like you said, West Indies have got to 200. We've got 8 overs left here. Not a lot really going on now. It's kind of just getting to the end of the day. I know it's not exciting at the best of times, but now it's not exciting. But we got Chris Wokes bowling, Ben Folkes keeping. He's standing up to Chris Wokes. It looks as if, actually, a little bit of excitement. There's people around by the covers as if there's going to be a bit more rain perhaps. So maybe a premature end to the day here. We'll see how it goes, but I'll let you know later on.
Thank you very much, Adam. Whilst we were speaking to you, there's been a goal, Fraser Day.
Well, I was just telling you about Modric doing a great job of breaking up the play. He's run about 30, 40 yards past a load of players, played it onto Vinicius Jr., and you think he's one-on-one, that he's made a hash of it, but he lays it back to Modric, who squeezes it through the PSG midfield and back line to Karim Benzema, about 8 yards out, and it's Benzema again, fires it straight past the goalkeeper. It actually takes a deflection off the sliding Marquinhos, which loops it over Gianluigi Donnarumma. I think probably it might have been going in anyway, but it's Donnarumma's dive into his left and the ball was looped over Donnarumma after that deflection.
And there's been another goal. Jake Clements, what can you tell us?
This one's going to stand, and St Mirren have nicked it in the 93rd minute. It's a goal from Ronan. He's been all over the place in this game, but really, not really in the box all over the place, but he's got his head on this one. A great cross on the right-hand side from substitute Henderson. Right onto his head, and he headed it into the far corner, straight past Sharp in the Dundee net, and still unbeaten at Dens Park for St Mirren, sorry.
Oh, I don't believe it! It's a Karim Benzema hat-trick! Oh, I do not believe it. It's a Karim Benzema hat-trick. Oh, Real Madrid, they're winning 3-1 now in this game. 3-2 on aggregate, 13 minutes to play. That's Karim Benzema's 30th goal in all competitions this season. He's down on one knee, Modric hugs him. I actually missed the goal because I was busy listening to this, whatever's going on over here, thinking it can't be that exciting. But yeah, just seeing the replay now, it's straight from kickoff. Paris Saint-Germain kickoff and instantly give the ball away. And it's played through to Vinicius Jr., who Marquinhos, it's another defensive error. Marquinhos plays it across the box and Karim Benzema just nips in and slots it in the bottom corner. I don't believe it. Defensively, PSG have been awful all over the place in this second half. Vinicius Jr. does the hard work. That is literally straight from kickoff. Cannot have been more than 15 seconds. Donnarumma left scrambling, nowhere near the ball. And yeah, Karim Benzema hat-trick, 3-1 Madrid, they're going through.
And that is 3-1 to Real Madrid as it stands 3-2 on aggregate. So Real Madrid will go through at the moment. Not quite a Karim Benzema goal, Barnaby, but who has scored over for you?
It's Farnborough again, 2-0 here. It's basically wrapped up now, deep into the additional time here. Mitchell Parker again, the second pile driver with his left foot from just outside the D. Game, set and match, I think, and they're off to the final, Farnborough.
Thank you very much, Barnaby. Ollie, I can see you wincing over there. What is going on?
Yeah, we're approaching full time and the keeper's up. Foley still holding a stake in this game. It's been whipped in. Oh, and he's hit the bar. Oh, it's another corner. It's another corner. He's hit the bar. Great cross from the Foley winger. Got his head to it, the striker. But yeah, Foley seriously holding a stake in this game. They keep going forward. They're going forward well. And yeah, I feel like this has just become... Sorry, this has become completely end-to-end. It's been a game of two halves, much better second half. And even now, yeah, another corner. The keeper's up and it's another corner. If you want to stay with me, because I think the whistle may go after this. I think the whistle's going to go literally after... He's whipped it in. Oh, it's still there. It's out for another corner. The left back's not happy with... He's whipped it in again. Oh, long shot on the edge of the box. And it's wide and it's over. That's the full-time whistle. 1-0 to the away side, Whitchurch. Not a great game overall, but much better second half.
Thank you very much for your updates on that game, Ollie. So Whitchurch winning 1-0 against Forley. Drive home safe, Ollie. Great reporting as always. It is full time over at you, Jake Clements. Who knew Scottish Premier League could get someone so excited? But how did the game end?
It ended 1-0 to St Mirren, courtesy of that really late goal from Ronan. It picks up his 7th of the season. It was a game that was really dominated by St Mirren for the majority of the second half. The first half was a bit more even. But St Mirren could have had a hatful in this game. It really could have been a cricket score. Dundee had a really a small handful of chances, really. McDade probably should have scored with a header at the start of the second half. But apart from that, St Mirren looked like the team that is now joint 5th in the league, and Dundee did look like they are probably going to be condemned to the Championship next season.
Oh, he's giving it away. It's got to be. Oh, no, it's not.
Joe getting excited there for no reason, apparently. So in Jake's game, St Mirren won 1-0, putting more hopes on Dundee and their relegation battle, putting more pressure on them. But we've heard about Solent's cup win for the footballers tonight. The men's basketball team were also in action in the semi-finals of the cup. They were taking on Durham in the sports complex and were down by 35 points to 31 at the half. Solent kept the game tight as the teams exchanged points late in the contest. But all the fighting came to no success for the home side. With the game tied, Durham won and scored a free throw with just seconds remaining. They won by 70 to 69 to advance to the final. Liam, you told me there was a slight update in your game, Man City versus Sporting. What's happening?
Well, the last 10 minutes, it's sort of taken a weird turn. I mean, on about 75 minutes, I almost saw another goalkeeping change. It was put through from Slimani, it's put through to Paulinho, the striker for Sporting, and he hit it straight. Carson, great save for a 40-year-old, but then he went down injured. And the Kieran Slicker, the 4th choice goalkeeper on the bench for Man City, started warming up. I was thinking, here we go, we're going to get another young lad coming on. But I think Carson was okay, he got up, and now it's end-to-end stuff. I mean, City had a chance, then it was down the other end, Sporting had a chance, and now City have made a change. Laporte is off, and the young centre-back Luke Mbete is on. He was predicted to start in most of the predicted lineups, but he didn't. And now it's him, he's 19. You've got Egan Riley, also 19, and James John McAtee. 3 19-year-olds making their Champions League debut tonight.
Wow, Pep Guardiola really utilising the bench there.
Yeah.
And we've got some good news. For the last time, we're going to go to Adam Oliver, because I do believe there's been an update in the cricket. Has it been rained off, Adam?
Lads, I'm no weatherman, but it's definitely raining and the covers are definitely on. So I think that's it for the day. So Holder finishes the day on 43 off 104 deliveries, whilst Bonner finishes on 34 off 103 deliveries. West Indies finish on 202 for 4. It's been a good day all round for the West Indies. I think they'll be the happiest out of the two. And I can see the West Indies pushing on tomorrow and getting a commanding lead in this test match against a struggling England side.
And we are not the only ones celebrating the cricket being called off, but Hartley Paul fans also celebrating a big save, Joe Hayhurst.
Again, he's saved them here in the 94th minute. We've got 5 minutes added time, 1 minute of added time to play. I am convinced this is going to go to penalties, but Killip will be patted on the back here by his teammates after this. That's a high boot there. Hartley Paul have a free kick with 1 minute and 30 to go.
Thank you very much, Joe. For the last time tonight, we're going to go across to Barnaby Page at Farnborough versus Portchester. Barnaby, how did this one end?
Yeah, full time here at the Easy As HGV Stadium, where Farnborough won 2-0 on their way to the final, where they'll be playing Eastleigh. Dominant team in the second half. First half was an easy touch and go game. Portchester had their chances and probably should have taken them, but in the second half, those 27 league position differences proved to be the difference here tonight. Farnborough on their way to the final.
So that is Farnborough on the way to the final and in the Hampshire Cup final now, taking on Eastleigh as they came out winners last night. Any update in the Papa John semi-final trophy as we go into the last minutes of the game?
30 seconds left. Hartley Paul with a free kick, just in between the 18-yard box and halfway line. Let's see what happens here. There's a bit of argy-bargy going on, as Saj would say. Come on, just take the kick. Here we go. Ball in. Who's going to get on the end of it? They've got... it's just wide. I think it was Bogle with a header. Not Bogle, sorry. It was Monu with a header. Just wide. I think that'll be it. I think that'll be penalties.
We could be going to penalties in the Papa John's trophy. But in your game, Fraser, are Real Madrid shoring up their place in the quarterfinal now?
Well, they're on complete complete control on the ball, utterly dominant. They've got a free kick in a very, very dangerous position here. Rodrigo steps up, strikes the wall, half volley, just wide. Nothing for Donnarumma to worry about. But, I mean, it's complete head loss at the back for PSG. Defenders are all over the place. Marquinhos making a hash of it. Kimpembe getting into a scrap a minute ago with Lucas Vazquez. It's been awful from PSG in this second half. They've not created many chances going forward. And at the back, they've been defensively so poor.
And I thought we were finished with Ollie Power, but he keeps coming back. Ollie, for the roundup of your game, what do you know?
Yeah, so it ended 1-0 to Whitchurch here over their rivals Fawley. And it was actually ex-Fawley man, Nathan Lynch, who got the goal, who got the winner. This result keeps Whitchurch up as well. It means they're mathematically safe in the Wessex one, while Fawley still fight at the bottom of the table, trying to stay up to avoid going down to the Hampshire League. And yeah, it was a game of two halves. First half, a lot more boring. I'd say it was the away side that had a stranglehold on it, creating a lot more in the final third, playing just better football, out physical, just in every department they were the better side. Second half was a lot more open. Fawley really got into it. Their fans backed them, even if it was only 80, 90 of them. And yeah, they got much more into it. They threw a lot more at the game, hit the post a couple times, but unfortunately not the result they wanted. And yeah, also mentioned to Saj that it's probably best to keep it old school with the old longer earphones.
Thank you very much, Ollie. Great reporting as always. Even more impressive with half a head. Keep going, mate, and have a safe journey home. Any updates? Jake, before we get to that, I'm going to come to you. Dundee United, not even Dundee United, Dundee, sorry. Are they down?
Not mathematically, no. They're still 1 point back from St Johnstone, but their game in hand, obviously, they dropped it tonight. So there's only 3 games left of the season now. So there's a chance that Dundee could go down, but I reckon they'll stay up. I can see them being a stronger team than St Johnstone.
Okay, and Liam, in your game, is the stalemate been broken yet?
No, I think it's just going to wind down. We're into the 90th minute nearly. I think Man City really wanted the game down. They haven't come out, they haven't made a statement. But we know Pep Guardiola likes to do that. He lets his teams go in cruise control sometimes. And this is one of those days.
Fraser, Real Madrid obviously going through as it stands. And if they do win this year's Champions League, it'll be their 14th that they've won before. Looking at the performance tonight, do you think they can go all the way?
I mean, based on tonight's performance, yeah, they can go all the way. They can definitely win. Vinicius Jr. is running right down this left wing as we speak. He's cut the ball back to Benzema, who's missed it. Yeah, no, as I was saying, if they play like they have tonight, obviously they went a goal down fairly early in the first half and they were 2-0 down in the tie. They've recovered it, completely turned it around with 3 goals, and they're not stopping here. They're going for it here. Draxler is on for PSG, and so is Angel Di Maria. So they're throwing the kitchen sink at it to try and get an equaliser. But as it ticks into the 89th minute, I think it's looking like Real Madrid are going to go through, and who knows what they could do.
And obviously Ancelotti getting a lot of criticism last game for being a bit too defensive. This game, it seems to be the opposite.
I mean, anyone who's criticised him for being too defensive, you cannot call him defensive in this game. Real Madrid have really gone for it. From the off, I said it, they were pressure, trying to break PSG down. And I think it was almost their undoing, actually, because PSG were hitting them on the counter-attack. But PSG have got a good chance here going through. Neymar's been pulled back. Yeah, it's a free kick in a decent position for PSG. This game is not over yet.
And as you were speaking, sorry, Joe, we'll get to you. But Liam, was there a chance?
I thought I was going to see a goal today, man. John Stones was whipped in. Before that, to earn the corner, it was Mahrez. He sent about 4 defenders. It was like him at Leicester. I think it was against Chelsea. He sent him on the right-hand side. He's dropping his shoulder, he's pulling the ball back. He earns the corner, it's whipped in by Gundogan, just hit over the bar by John Stones, still 0-0.
And Joe, are we heading to penalties in the semi-final of the Papa John's Trophy?
We are heading to penalties. And actually, fun fact, both of these teams got through the quarter-final on penalties. Rotherham beat Cambridge and Hartley Paul beat Charlton. There you go. Got there in the end. But yeah, with the form that Kilip's been in today, I fancy Hartley Paul. He's been phenomenal in goal. Just I say that, and it's a goal. It's a goal.
Joe Hayhurst with great knowledge on Hartley Paul and Rotherham's previous rounds. We will keep you updated on the penalties situation as they come in. But with the PSG Real Madrid game. We've obviously, Vinicius Junior has been a massive talking point all night. You saying he's showing off. Should Neymar be worried for his Brazil shirt even more now?
I mean, he got a great assist for the goal earlier on in the night, but since then, he's been a bit out of the game, to be fair. I think he should be worried because Vinicius Junior, I mean, if Benzema hadn't scored that hat-trick, he would be man of the match. Lionel Messi just had a free kick chance there, which has dipped onto the roof of the net. But yeah, PSG now, 4 minutes of added time. We're into the second minute. It's looking like Real Madrid are going to hold on for this.
And Liam, in hopes of trying to get a goal, mate, it's still 0-0 over there, is it?
Nothing, yeah, it's Sterling again. The defender slides in, he's got it in the box, the defender slides in. And to be fair, it's beautiful play. It's like what Foden did against United. He pulls it over the defender's head, defender slides underneath, just hits it wide. And that's full time. That's it, 0-0. Not really, a fair reflection on the game, but it's not the Man City that we know can turn up, especially it's a depleted squad. And they didn't turn up today. Maybe that was Pep's idea, maybe that was just... They were through, I don't know. I don't know. It was terrible.
Job done before the game kicked off, I do believe. Man City 0, Sporting 0, but Man City go through 5-0 winners on aggregate to the quarter-final, where they will be joined by Liverpool and Bayern Munich as far. Real Madrid beating PSG 3-1, so they are qualifying at the moment, but anything can happen. Stranger things have happened. And Liam, with the back line that Pep Guardiola put out tonight, obviously a young team, something that Man City aren't used to. Did they struggle at all?
You know what? Sporting did have a few chances here and there. Like the one big one was against Scott Carson. It was straight down the middle, though. I mean, there was nothing really to challenge them. Sporting really didn't come out at all. When their fans were singing, they're happy to just be there, I think. But this, the Luke and Betty, Egan Riley on that right-hand side looked really, really good all game, steady as anything. And like I said, the Luke and Betty came on, he's a man mountain. He is massive. A lot of people touting him as sort of the next Vincent Kompany. Big shoes to fill, but who knows? If he gets a few more games, we'd like to see.
And Joe, have the penalties started over for you?
Yeah, it's currently 2-2 on penalties. 4 fantastic pens, really. Side netting on all of them. The keeper's having a bit of a shout here at the Hartley Paul player as he slots it away, sends him the wrong way. Lovely pen.
Penalties can be decided either way here in the Papa John's semi-final. And Fraser, we're going to come back to you again. PSG Real Madrid, how long left?
Literally going into the last minute of added time now. Kylian Mbappe was brought down there, actually, just outside the penalty area. Referees waved it away. I believe it's a goal kick. But yeah, we're into the final minute now, and it's looking like it's going to be one of those famous Champions League nights at the Bernabeu. Kylian Mbappe is looking like he's going to have to wait another season for a Champions League trophy. Maybe he'll be swapping the Parc des Princes for the Bernabeu in search of a Champions League trophy, because it doesn't look like he's going to get one here with Paris.
And with the squad PSG have so much money spent with Leo Messi, Neymar and Mbappe as your front three, the best front three in the world, some might say. Did you expect more tonight?
I did expect more tonight, I'll be honest, especially from Lionel Messi. I've not actually noticed him too much in the game. In fact, I'm pretty sure he's gone off for Angel Di Maria. But yeah, Kylian Mbappe and Neymar, definitely, they've linked up well at times, but they've not created enough. They should have created more, and that's full time. Benzema points up to the sky, Camavinga's giving it a fist pump. 3-1 on the night, 3-2 on aggregate. What a recovery from Real Madrid, and they're into the quarter-finals of the Champions League.
And how big of a shock is that, obviously PSG being 1-0 up before the tie started? What are your thoughts?
I mean, going 1-0 up, the way PSG were playing, they were having the chances on the counter-attack. I really thought that they were going to go through. That's right, mate. I really thought they were going to go through, but Real Madrid, second half, have turned it around. I don't know whether it's Real Madrid turned it around or whether PSG was so poor defensively, but Karim Benzema, another career hat-trick, 30 goals for the season. What a performance from him.
Well, luckily for you, the game's over, so Joe won't be interrupting you anymore. But Joe, during that interruption, what happened?
Catch up on. So Hartley Paul took first, so they've on their 4th pen. Molyneux, who's been one of the best players on the pitch, poor penalty, great save from the keeper, and then Rotherham missed their penalty, their 4th penalty. Hartley Paul scored their 5th. So Rotherham missed their 4th penalty, but the save from Kilib again, unbelievable. Strong right hand down to the bottom corner, saves it onto the post, a bit like Pickford in the world in the Euros. But he's looking confident, Kilib. I'll be surprised if he doesn't make another save.
Make sure you keep us updated with that, Joe. Liam, just one last word on Man City. A lot of people believe they can go all the way. After seeing their performance tonight, obviously not with a full strength side, but we've seen them batter Man United in the Premier League on the weekend, and obviously they came in with a job already done during this game. Do you think they can go all the way?
Well, like I said before, I think Pep Guardiola knows how his sides perform. He does let them go cruise control, and it would just be interesting to see who they get in the next round as that next test, because I do think put them up against the Bayern Munich or a Real Madrid like tonight, there could be a real challenge and it could be a really good game. But tonight, no, they weren't really on it. Probably, I mean, it didn't really matter at the end. It was 5-0. They knew going in. Most City fans knew. Most football fans knew that they were already through. So, yeah, I would say it's not much if you're a City fan. Don't worry too much about it. It was a bad performance, but there was no test there. There was nothing for them to grasp onto.
Thank you very much, Liam. Joe, what's happened quickly?
It's an awful penalty. Hartley Paul players, we're into sudden death now. All penalty takers have taken, all the original penalty takers have taken their thing. And we've had, oh, that's horrendous. It's almost gone into the top corner. That is not on target. Sent the keeper the wrong way at least. But the ball's gone into the stand there. That's like a Ronaldo free kick.
And Saj Rahman for the last time tonight over in Bracknell versus Guernsey. Saj, how did it end?
Yes, Louis, it ended 2-0 in the end to Bracknell. They've confirmed their promotion, but that's the least of their worries at the moment. They're gunning for the title, and one more win at the weekend will win them the championship here. It was a decent game to come out and watch in the end, despite the bitter cold that killed my AirPod battery life. But luckily, I'm a man with two options, and I've got the wires, and I might have to get Apple to get them back into stock. But it was a brilliant game. I've just spoken to Tony Vance, the manager of Guernsey, and the centre-back partnership of Guernsey, who were absolutely mammoth in the defence to keep it down to 2-0, because Bracknell were the better side the whole game and deservedly got the 3 points in the end.
Thank you very much, Saj. Unbelievable reporting, as always, you top waffler. Joe Hayhurst in the Hartley Paul versus Rotherham game. What's going on?
Stepping up here to take it is Miller. The last chance of the game. He's got to win it. Yeah, he sent the keeper the wrong way. 5-4 on penalties there in the end to Rotherham. They go through to the final of the Papa John's Trophy, and they'll play Sutton there. It was a great game to watch. 2-2, 5-4 on penalties.
Hartley Paul so close there to causing an upset. Obviously, they're sat 12th in League 2. Rotherham top of League 1, but Rotherham do go through to the final on penalties to play Sutton. What did we see tonight? Did we see Hartley Paul showing that they should carry on this form into the league, or did we see Rotherham struggling a bit?
I think we saw a performance that Hartley Paul should be proud of. It was a really great performance from them. I think there was individual brilliance with for Rotherham with Bowler and Smith. Smith just scoring. Just that's what he does. It's unreal. And the front three from Molyneux, Bogle and Gray, who ended up getting subbed off in the end for Carver about halfway through the second half. But yeah, as well as this, Killip, fantastic goalkeeper for Hartley Paul. Yeah, I think they'll be walking away with their heads held up after that loss.
Thank you very much, Joe. Great Britain will now battle to qualify for the semi-finals of the wheelchair curling in the Beijing Winter Olympics. The team of 5 improved their chances when playing against Estonia and winning 10-5. However, they have since dropped to 7th after suffering a 6-4 defeat against Sweden. And with the top 4 teams advancing to the semi-finals, Great Britain's next game is crucial that they play against Canada. We are now going to do the latest scores, which we can see over here. Real Madrid 3, PSG 1, which means Real Madrid go through to the quarter-finals. Manchester City 0, Sporting 0, a job well done for Manchester City before they went into it. Porto 0, Lyon 1 in the Europa League. The other game in that night ended Real Betis 1, Frankfurt 2, so both of those go through. Hartlepool 2, Rotherham 2, but we saw Rotherham go through on penalties in the end. Dundee 0, St Mirren 1. St Mirren really pushing for a goal all game and finally got one towards the end. Bracknell 2, Guernsey 0. Bracknell cementing their top place. Guernsey struggling, although they've got games in hand. And we saw Farnborough beat Portchester 2-0 in the Hampshire Senior Cup. And finally, Forley 0, Whitchurch 1 in the Wessex 1. Republic of Ireland manager Stephen Kenny has signed a contract extension that will see him remain in charge until Euro 2024. Kenny was appointed in April 2020 and his current deal was due to expire in July, a month after the Republic opened their Nations League campaign. The Football Association of Ireland made the announcement of the extension on Wednesday after what they described as extensive and productive talks with the former Dundalk and Derry City boss. They finished third in their World Cup qualifying group ahead of Luxembourg on goal difference and will play friendlies against Belgium and Lithuania in Dublin later this month. Fellas, excellent reporting tonight. Can we just get some final thoughts on your games, starting with you, Liam?
Well, you know, I've said it before, I wouldn't worry. That is not the Man City you will get in the next round, whether it be against Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, one of the big boys. They'll turn up and hopefully, well, for them, they can go all the way and win it this year. It's due. It's due.
And Jake, before the game, you weren't too sure about reporting on the Scottish Premier League, although your trousers say otherwise. What were your thoughts?
It was a really entertaining game in the end, and obviously it was one of those things where the Padawan has now become the master, with Stephen Robertson obviously working under McGee at Motherwell in 2017, beating him tonight as St Mirren manager. I don't know if it's cause for concern at Dundee, with winless now in 5 games under their new manager McGee, but you just have to wait and see.
And for celebration of St Mirren and the Scottish Premier League, can we get one more twirl of those trousers for us?
You can have a twirl this time.
There you go. Scottish through and through, as you can tell. Joe, in your game, nearly an upset, but not quite. Your final thoughts, please.
Yeah, Rotherham came into the game heavy favourites. I'm sure that's not surprising. They're looking to get promoted up into the Championship. However, you wouldn't think that watching the game. It was a great performance from Hartley Paul. There's, again, 35 places between them. So, you know, you wouldn't expect such a great game that we had on offer. But, yeah, overall, Rotherham, they're through. Hartley Paul probably deserve more.
And Fraser, obviously you had the game of the night personally.
I did.
Unfortunately for you boys. But Fraser, final thoughts on Real Madrid going into the quarterfinals?
Well, I'll tell you one thing for sure. I'm shutting my laptop lid because I've just seen that Steve McManaman and Michael Owen were commentating on that game, and I don't want to hear it. So if you're watching with us, you've drawn the short straw if you're watching on BT. You should have been watching with us. As far as the game goes, absolutely incredible game. I mean, PSG looked at one point like they were going to run away with it, but in the end, a Karim Benzema hat-trick has sealed the victory at the Bernabeu, and I do fancy him. Having watched him in that second half tonight, I really fancy him to go on and win.
And thank you to our panellists tonight and our reporters everywhere, unless your name is Adam Oliver, because we don't want to hear about the cricket anymore. Thank you so much for joining us at Solent Sports Newsnight. We'll see you next time.